The Jason Gregor Show.
To maintain by Klingberg, digs it out of the skates of Kuzmenko, cuts to the middle, loads and fires right around Draisaitl. John Klingberg found a lane, and Draisaitl able to jam one home.
On Sports 1440.
Great theater here in downtown Cleveland. Mitchell again. Knocks it down. Donovan Mitchell was made for moments like these.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Played ahead to Marchment. Marchment drives to the net. He holds, finds a cover. Scott! Marchment sits up, Sagan.
Well, a tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Hey, maybe need a break from the game. Well, guess what? It is the Daily Grand. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million. Oof, I like it. It's great. You could imagine if you woke up today after the debacle you lost last night. You woke up and you're like, oh, got $1,000. Suddenly changes your mood a little bit better because honestly, I could understand. Oilers fans went to bed last night. There was very little to be excited about. The Oilers got worked in that game in LA. They were never in the game. Maybe for a brief second, literally like a minute. When Arvidsson made it 3-2, you're thinking maybe there's a chance. That was it. Any other time, no. You take the first penalty of the game again, you give up a power play goal again. Their penalty kill is terrible. Their power play, lethargic. They're back to being sent. I should be wearing a red hat and a white with white trim on it today to fit in. And even their head coach, Chris Knobloch, finally admitted it. The biggest problem for the Oilers last night, no question, is Giftorama. Because honestly, they're a store you're walking in. They're like Oprah Winfrey. You get a free puck and you get a free chance and you get a great scoring chance. Oh, here, Kempe. Let's just give it to Kempe. Oh my, that was ugly. So we will talk about it. There's lots of areas that the Oilers need to improve on. Make no mistake. They might change the goalie. That's fine. But if you think changing the goalie is the reason the Oilers lost yesterday, I'm sorry. I don't think you're paying attention to that game. Nothing. Which goal is a terrible goal? None. Would you like to make a big save? Totally fair. Sure. Make a big save, maybe. But look at the Byfield goal. You give Quentin Byfield, he swoops in on the right side. He stick handles, 5 times? There is no one. I'm telling you. And then when shooters hit their shot, right top shelf, what do? That's a really good shot. But when you give NHL players, especially the other team, some of their best players, time, imagine if McDavid and Draisaitl actually had time. Like, look at the goals they have to score. They got to work their asses off. Shield off a defender, spin off a defender, right? Or make a great play. John Klingberg, great play, the way. That's a positive. Klingberg looked really good yesterday. Right? Reads it to Draisaitl. Great. Arvidsson's getting sandwiched by 2 guys in front of the net. Holds his ground, manages to get a stick on the puck. Not an easy goal. Now let's look at the other way. It's a power play. Fogle comes down the left side. Ballman just lets him walk right by him. Then he cuts in. Nurse goes to lay down. And it worked a few times, but if you're going to do it, you better do it. Because if you don't, now the guy's wide open. Brant Clark comes right through, puts it in. 1-0. Great. Now you got the Byfield goal. 2-0. Then you look at the Kempe goal, the fourth goal when it was 3-2. Oh, my goodness. You're just kind of like, what? What is happening here? It was Giftorama all over. Like, look at the Kempe goal. So Arvidsson, I still don't know how an NHL player in his own zone with no one around him just fans on a puck. I don't understand it. It wasn't like the Kings were doing anything great to pressure him. And then Kopitar pushed it into the corner, wins a race with the puck, finds Kempe. Kempe received the pass at the top of the circle. 2 strides, walks in, and bar in. Perfect shot. And that guy can shoot the pill. And then and everyone's like, oh, it's the goalie. Oh, yeah, what happened? Calvin Pickard. Hey, welcome. Calvin Pickard, welcome to how your team's playing in front of you. We're going to let Kempe skate in from center ice, untouched. He took 3 strides. There was no one close to him, so now he's gliding. He's coming in. He's looking. Where do I want to shoot? Oh, yeah, top shelf, short side, right in it. You're going to tell me, oh, no, someone's going to say, well, Pickard's got to make that save. Really? Honestly? Skinner's got to make the save. What about the Deneau goal in game 1? Right? The Kempe goal in game 1. Guys are wide open in the slot. Right? What about the Kopitar one? Watch on the penalty kill. So they have the puck on the right side. What's the number? Where do you want your stick as a defender on the penalty kill? I think all of you know you want your stick in front of you to try to take away the seam pass. That's your responsibility. So Jake Wallman decides to turn around and cross-check Brandt Clark, who wasn't in a danger area. So now you take your stick off of the ice, you cross-check a player in wide open lane. Now, your goalie doesn't see that. Now they do a cross pass, Kopitar one-timer, Skinner pushes across. Actually got a good push on that one, off of skating in. Cardinal sin rule. Struddy's talked about this. You're a defenseman, stick in lanes. There was nobody in that was the easiest pass you could have ever given the power play. And someone's going to say, the goalie's got to save it. Oh, my goodness. Take the goalie out. Great. Because then maybe people will realize it's not just the goalie. It's stunning to me how many people want to blame the goalie. Could Skinner have made a save? Sure. But, hey, could the Oilers have actually managed the puck and stop gifting goals? Like, I don't know. Call me crazy. Maybe that's an idea. Just maybe. Like, what happened on the Byfield goal? It's a 2-on-2 battle on the boards. Byfield swipes in, and like Darnell Nurse looked like his controller froze. He literally stopped. I'm not hyperbolizing things. He literally stopped. And when you stop in the NHL, you're dead. You're not catching him. Good night, Irene. Scoops in. Ooh, now I got all sorts of time. I'm telling you, man, you don't have to even have a hard shot. When you put a perfectly placed shot, come inside, when you're able to skate in right on, almost on top of the goalie, untouched, I should mention. And people are like, oh, now you say you need a save. You would need a stupendous, unbelievable save, and you would need 4 of them for that game to have been close. 4 of them. Look at the Oilers' power play. They had 1 chance in that game. Down low to Zach Hyman. And I know, what a great save by Kemper. Go watch the replay. We'll talk to Kevin Woodley about it. Kemper comes across, and what has Woodley said? When you do cross down low, you got to elevate the puck. Hyman got a shot away right into the middle of the net on the ice. Goalie's just playing position. Comes across, doesn't have to move. He just slides, hits him his pad. Now, if Brandt Clark shoots it on the ice, did you see where Skinner's pad was? It would have went right on the ice. Right? So these are the things we learned from Woodley. Talk about. Now, Skinner probably maybe had a little bit more of an overlap than he would have liked on that push-off. Possible, and we'll ask Woodley because he's coming on today at 3 o'clock. Maybe. But I'm sorry. To want to try to scapegoat one player from last night is blind rage, and I'm sorry, it's an uneducated analysis of that game. Gifting goals all over the place. The penalty kill is awful right now. And the power play, anemic. This is basically role reversal of last year. The Kings, and actually better, because the Kings right now are 150% combined. 100% on the penalty kill, 50% on the power play. The Oilers are 50% because they're 0 on their power play and they're 50% on the penalty kill. And the other thing, stay out of the damn box. No one's taking more penalties than the Oilers. And even if you want to take away the Jake Wallman one, because funny enough, the Jake Wallman and the subsequent delay of game from the coach for challenging it, they actually didn't give up a goal on that. And that's 2, right? It's like a 2-for-1. And they killed them both off. The other 8 power plays, they've allowed 5 goals. And look at the goals. Like they clearly need to change their thought process. Kuzmenko scored 2 goals on the power play. Granted, one was a pass, the other one was off the end boards, where he is allowed to be untouched down low off the side of the net because they're asking their defenseman to press up. When it happens twice, that's what your system is. It's not just a defenseman losing it. I'm sorry. Look where Wallman goes. Look where Josh Brown went. Once the puck is up, they're moving up. You got to, and the Kings are like, okay, we'll have Kuzmenko down low. He scored twice. One on a direct pass, the other time off the end boards because you can't recover. I don't blame the goalie for either one of those. Then you got the crossing pass to Kopitar. No chance. All right, Brant Clark, I think that's the one I would say, you know what, probably could get a save there. Maybe. Like, it would be a good save, but I think it's doable. And it's the Kings have 20 shots on goal on the power play. Right now, their shots per 60 are 83.6. Do you know what the best team in the regular season was? 63. The New Jersey Devils. The Oilers were 50, and even when the Oilers power play was top notch, it was around 59 or 60. Basically, you know, 1 shot per, it's kind of how it works. The Oilers, right now, their power play, which the goalie has nothing to do with, by the way. The Oilers power play, the first unit in 8 minutes of power play time, over 8 minutes, has a grand total of 5 shots. They're at 37 shots per 60. In the regular season, it was 53. So they're taking too many penalties. They're giving up too many power play goals. And their power play is doing, it's because it's not like it's not even scoring. How many chances they had? 1? The Zach Hyman one. That's it. The Kings penalty kill is like the Oilers, we know what they do. They like McDavid comes in flying. He crosses the blue line, 2 or 3 strides, dumps it over. Nugent Hopkins is on the left wall. That's how they like to enter most of the time. So the Kings like, okay, the minute he dumps it off, they pressure him, it's out. The Oilers keep, and I get it. Lots of teams like now, they want to be higher in the zone. I understand it. But look at the Kings power play. Sometimes it's high in the zone. Sometimes it's Kuzmenko down low. He's the whole driving force right now, their power play. He's injected a massive amount of mojo in it. If we look at trade deadline acquisitions, has there been one who's made a bigger impact on his team in the playoffs? Can you think of anybody than Kuzmenko? And by the way, they gave up a 7th rounder to get him. But good for him. Like, he's played quite well, but he's injected life. Now, he's not a perfect player, right? He's still playing 18 minutes a night. He's got 5 points, 3 on the power play, 2 even strength, adding a lot of juice to their team. Every time he scores, goes nuts. Crowd loves it. So you get a player, and they clearly looked and said, hey, we got to do something different. Now, they didn't do it instantly, right? And Kuzmenko didn't have instant success. I think he had no points in his first 6 games in LA. But then he started to get a little bit more comfortable. Was on the power play. Then he started scoring. Then they went to their 5-forward power play unit. And right now, the Oilers don't have an answer. So Mark Stewart, Chris Knobloch, Paul Coffey, Glenn Galton, I'm sure they're going to be burning the midnight oil because they got to figure out for their special teams to wake up here. 5-on-5, the Oilers are actually in the series. But they're getting absolutely torched. And when I say 5-on-5, they're in the series overall, but they gift goals 5-on-5. And I outlined them. Look at last game. Game 1. Game goals 3 and 4, gifts. Last night, Byfield goal, gift. Kempe goal, gift. Second Kemp, the 6-2 goal, the game's cut out of hand, whatever. But it's too much. It's too much. And they got to be smarter. They got to be better. Now, the question is, can they? Because history is not on their side. No doubt about that. But good team, because I wanted to go more looking at recent, since in the salary cap era, Connor Halley, there has been 144 series where the club was down 0-2. In those 144 games, the team down 0-2 has won 21 of them. So that's 14.5%. Now, so that's a little bit better than the history. History is 12%. So slightly better. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, they're one of those teams. They did it against the Ducks. Now, last season, here's the good news. It's happened each of the last 3 years. The Stars came back on Vegas, down 0-2 at home, I should mention. Won it in 7. The Devils came back on the Rangers in 23 in 7, first round. Then the Rangers came back on the Hurricanes, round 2, 2022. So it's possible, but I'm telling you, like, I guess one of the 5 teams based on the last 3 years, you're telling me there's a chance? There's 5 series, right? The Blues are down 0-2. The Oilers are down 0-2. Canadians are down 0-2. The Sens are down 0-2. And the Devils are down 0-2. So maybe one of them has a chance. I don't think Ottawa has much of a chance. Well, New Jersey they got no chance. So let's count them out. So that leaves Montreal, St. Louis, and Edmonton. Maybe. But if the Oilers special teams doesn't wake up, I'm telling you, the train for Chance Town is gone. It derailed. They're done. They got to be better. Do you think they can come back, Connor Halley?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not counting them out quite yet. You have to win Friday. I mean, that's where it starts, right? You do that, all of a sudden, I think there's a whole new life injected into this team. But they've got so many things to clean up. And I kind of thought this last night. I talked about it in Fantasy Frenzy. Like, game 1, you lose by 1 goal in that fashion. Like, maybe you're thinking, okay, we're close. Last night, what are the positives you're taking away from it? There's a lot you have to clean up. So could that be the wake-up call they needed? Maybe, if I'm being the eternal optimist and say maybe this is what they needed. They needed to get their butt kicked in that fashion, and maybe it'll get cleaned up. And you won't take those silly penalties and, fan on the puck like Victor Arvidsson. And the worst opportunity, like 2 minutes after you make it a 1-goal game, you let that happen. They've just got to fix those things. So I'm not counting them out. I saw a little video after the game. McDavid, Draisaitl leaving the rink getting chirped, and McDavid had the little smug smile on his face. You can never count it out with those two. But, Gregor, I will say there's just a lot of things they really need to clean up here.
Yeah. Well, their puck management is number 1, 5-on-5, gifting goals, and then their special teams. It's huge. And so they can change goalies. I have no problem changing goalies. And you can make an argument, hey, you allow that many, you want a few more saves, but heck, you put in Dominic Hasek, I don't think it's bad. Remember, Connor Hellebuyck last year allowed 24 goals in 4.5 games against Colorado. Even elite goalies, if you continually give up great chances, they're not stopping them. They're just not. Right? You give a guy time and space. Like, that's what is the number one thing you want to take away? Time and space, time and space. Look at the goals that the LA scored yesterday. How many of them had a lot of time and space? It's not a recipe for success. So we'll see how it goes. Coming up on the show today, we got a loaded show. David Amber will join us. We will hear from Kevin Woodley. Him and Spec switch, so he'll go at 5. Spec's going to 3:20 now. We got Thirsty Thursdays. Jeez, you know what? I think you might need some. I think you'll enjoy that today. Coming up with Steven at 2:40. We got Nick Kiprios. We'll hear from Danny Webster. The Vegas Golden Knights. Where's Jack Eichel and Mark Stone? 2 games in, those guys are 0-ers, and they're both -3. They got to get going. If they, you know what, now they're 1-1, so they're in a better position, but they need their top line to get rolling. Livingston will buy in the racing report. We got another chance for you to qualify, and here comes the sun in 4 o'clock, and we got a lot of text time. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. We'll return, talk last night's game set up tonight, and hey, moving forward, what changes can the Oilers make to try to get at least one win and go from there?
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails.
Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off, presented by Christensen Communities Limited, hits the ice this Friday to Sunday. This Edmonton-based tournament pairs hockey fans with some of their favorites from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend, featuring a champions luncheon and tournament. Teams have been fundraising in the community, enabling the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories to continue providing help for today through free education programs and support services, and hope for tomorrow through research. For more information or to learn how you can get involved, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca. Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
May 3rd, don't miss Riverside Motorsports' annual spring blowout. Save 15% on parts, gear, and accessories, and up to 60% off non-current riding apparel. Pre-purchase 30% off tires for your street bike and get a free installation. Please call to book your spot. Plus, get a chance to win 2 Morgan Wallen tickets. Bring the whole family down for free hot dogs and pop at Riverside's annual spring blowout. Highway 2 North in St. Albert. RideRiverside.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 5-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, April 29th to May 3rd, 8 a.m. Live online bidding. On offer, core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids, on-site viewing, and timed auction on now. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine?
Choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.224, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Other news, the Edmonton Oil Kings, if you missed it, will not be renewing Luke Pierce's contract, so they'll be going in a different direction for their head coach for next season. So Oil Kings officially looking for a head coach. Luke, the best luck. Had him on the show many times. Had a lot of great conversations with him. So wish him all the best to where he lands. But the Old Kings, a young upcoming team. That's going to be a pretty highly sought after coaching gig in the Western Hockey League. So we'll probably get Kurt Hill on next week to discuss kind of what he's looking for. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL provides a platform for U12 and U14 players to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com. And with the expansion for the PWHL, that's just more opportunity for those young girls to dream about playing professionally, which is awesome. We welcome in David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada and Sportsnet. And it's been a wild first few games, Dave, for the NHL playoffs. We're not even a week in, and there's storylines all over the place. The Oilers' special teams are awful. The Vegas Golden Knights' first line isn't scoring. Vasilevsky allowed 6 goals on 17 shots. And then you obviously got some positive stories. The Jets are 2-0. The Maple Leafs look good. The Carolina Hurricanes are kind of who we thought they would be. So I guess for you, 5 days in, what's been the most interesting storyline?
Well, hey, Jason, thanks for having me on. Wow, the most interesting. I mean, maybe the most, I don't know if it's interesting, but certainly surprising is how the Oilers are down 2-0. It's not necessarily that they're down 2-0. I mean, the Kings have been the hottest team since the trade deadline. They have the best home record in the league. The Kings, a lot of people were saying they're a legitimate team. They're not the same iteration that we saw Edmonton sort of breeze through the last couple of years and squeak through 3 years ago in 7 games. But it is surprising the fashion with which the Oilers have lost these games. So that might be maybe the most compelling storyline, just kind of the wow factor of it all. I was surprised. It's still so early. I was surprised what Florida did to Tampa in game 1. That was a bit of a shocker. And there's some great storylines. I mean, maybe the greatest storyline is last night we saw in Colorado, Gabriel Landeskog, after 3 years. Yeah. I mean, what have you been doing over the last 1,032 days? I can tell you what I haven't been doing, and that's rehabbing a series of injuries. This guy, it's unbelievable. It would have been really easy for him to hoist the cup back in 2022, realize he has some pretty significant injuries, and sort of say, look, I'm going to gracefully go off into the sunset. I've won a championship. Whatever. Instead, he said, no, I'm going to get back to the grindstone. I'm going to show all my resilience, show all my grit. I'm going to put all my energy into making a return. Having so many setbacks over the course of 3 years, for him to finally make that appearance last night was an amazing moment for really a wonderful guy. I'm sure you've dealt with Gabriel Landeskog and all the travels. Just a salt of the earth guy. Not a surprise. He was, I think, the youngest or second youngest captain in NHL history. So that story is maybe the best storyline we've seen yet. And I just think there's a lot of chapters to still be written. Last night we walked off the set after that Oilers game and also after the Canadiens game. And one thing that both Luke Gazdic and Kevin Bieksa has said is, from a player's attitude, a series doesn't start till you lose at home. So LA, they did what they needed to do. They held fort. Washington Capitals, they held fort. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they did their thing, etc. But all those teams that are down 2-0, that are road teams, are saying, okay, well, now let's see how you do in a more hostile environment where we have the final change, where maybe we get better officiating calls that are favorable to us, or whatever the case may be. So I think right now in the next 48 hours, we'll have a much better sense of how many of these teams that have taken 2-0 leads are going to kind of stroll through in a sweep or a gentleman's sweep, or how many of them are going to have to really kind of grind it out in a 6-7 game series. So I don't think we're staring down 5 sweeps. 5 teams currently sit 2-0. But we certainly could have some interest and some narrative change in the next 48 hours for many of these teams.
Yeah, some of the teams, you're right, they're going to have to take over. Now, I was looking it up, the NHL stat guide, and history's still not on the side of those teams. Well, the players might say the series doesn't begin until you're down OT. Math would say, maybe not. 144 times, and I only wanted to do the salary cap era. 144 series in the salary cap era, teams have been down 0-2 21 times, which is 14.5%. But once of each of the last 3 seasons, Has it happened? The Stars last year, the Devils in 23, and the Rangers in 22. So yeah, it can happen for sure. And it always means the games go 7. Like there hasn't been a team. Although I thought the Oilers, no, the Ducks came back down 0-2 from the Oilers. The Oilers I thought came back down 0-2 from the San Jose Sharks as well. So in 2016-17. So it was kind of a role reversal. But I don't know, that was 2006, maybe the Oilers against the Sharks. So it happens, Dave, but it's rare. And so I'll ask you this: of the 5, St. Louis and Edmonton in the West, New Jersey, Ottawa, Montreal. If you had to pick one, who do you think has the best chance to come back and win their series? Admittedly, that it's still a long shot.
Wow, that's tough. I don't think New Jersey has a shot. I think they're too banged up, so I'll eliminate them. I don't think the Habs are going to come back. I think they're capable of it, but I also look at what Washington's doing. Logan Thompson looks great. And Montreal, unfortunately, they just don't have enough scoring behind Suzuki and Caulfield. I think when they fall behind in a game, it becomes really difficult for them. Winnipeg might have the toughest path because the St. Louis team they're playing so fiercely hard, but I like the Jets' chances. I'm doing a bad job of answering this question. That leaves me with Ottawa or Edmonton. I'm just going to say Edmonton simply because I think they have the best chance, simply because Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And quite frankly, everything has gone wrong for the Oilers, like everything. And I don't need to tell your audience this. I mean, they were 66 for 70 on the kill last year in the playoffs, 94%, and they're 50%. They've allowed more power play goals in the first 2 games than they did in 25 games on their way to the Stanley Cup final, Game 7 last year. So everything seemingly has gone wrong. I do think Toronto's going to prevail against Ottawa. Again, Toronto has found a way to defend. It's almost the opposite of what we're seeing from Edmonton, quite frankly. Kudos to Brad Trey-Living. He went and got Brandon Carlo at the trade deadline. He obviously in the offseason brought in OEL and Chris Tanev, right? And you guys know how great a defender Chris Tanev is. They 1-6. They're cycling out their 6 defensemen. No one's playing more than 19 minutes. They're all playing more than 18 minutes. So they're all just kind of rolling out their players. They're locking it down, and they're not winning because of Marner and Matthews and those guys. They're winning because they're having great goaltending and defense. So the blueprint really does seem to be there for the Leafs. So I'm not seeing Ottawa necessarily winning 4 of the next 5, even though I think they're going to make a series of it. Edmonton, so by virtue of default, I've kind of eliminated everyone else. It's not that I have great optimism in the Edmonton Oilers, but I think, at least they have a proven track record. They have, 2 of the best players in the world. And I'd like to think some of what's gone wrong, they're going to correct in the next game. They have to, or else it will be a quick series.
David Amber joins us. David, the Patrick Laine benching in the third period, probably not really surprising at this stage. Like, he doesn't seem to want to move very well. I thought it was more the coach didn't love his effort in the second period on that one back check where he just kind of almost even skate. It was kind of crazy to see.
Yeah.
Do you expect him back in the lineup for Game 3?
I do for 2 things. One, I think Martin St. Louis understands players very well, and he has very high EQ. It's not just, I'm going to punish you, you're out of the lineup. It's going to be like, this is a teaching moment. I need more from you. I need better effort. We're going to go through the film. We're going to talk about what the issues are, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to address them. I'm not just going to banish you. Secondly, it's not like there's a surplus of guys sitting there that he could tap on the shoulder who are former 40-goal scorers who can score on one-shot opportunity. I was just saying, behind Suzuki and Caulfield, there just isn't much scoring. They didn't have a single player finish in the top 20, single forward, I should say, finish in the top 120 point leaders after Caulfield and Suzuki. They need Patrick Laine to be better, to have any shot. So I think this was just an opportunity. You heard Martin St. Louis after the game say, look, I shortened our bench in the third, and I ran out the 8 or 9 guys I felt gave us the best opportunity. Patrick Laine was struggling. And quite frankly, Patrick Laine in Game 1 had the 3rd fewest minutes of any member of the Habs. So he was already kind of not getting out there on a regular basis in Game 1, continued to not, really show impressive, consistent play and at both ends of the ice, because Montreal was getting hemmed in their zone at length at times if you're watching the game. And Patrick Laine is one of the guys who, you need to win some of those 50-50 puck battles. You need to get the puck up the ice. You need to do the right things, play the game the right way. And he was struggling to do that. So I wasn't surprised he got benched, and I won't be surprised to see him back in Game 3. I'll be much more surprised if he finds his way into the press box for Game 3 tomorrow.
David Amber joins us. Vegas. Any concerns for their top line? Thader is -5, McNabb's -4, Stone and Eichel are -3, and they all got they don't have any points. Well, I guess Theodore has 1 assist. Or is it because they're split? You're like, nah, it's still 1-1. Not a big deal.
I have faith in Vegas. I mean, I picked them. We did our little Sportsnet picks, and I picked them to win the Cup. This was going into the playoffs. I picked Edmonton to win the Cup preseason over Toronto, and then we got to sort of get a mulligan, I suppose, and there was a lot of question marks, obviously, surrounding the Oilers, and I kind of jumped ship and said, okay, well, I think, Vegas might be the team to beat. So I'm less concerned about them. Minnesota is playing really well. Matt Boldy, my God, hey,
yeah.
What a player he is. And Kaprizov is really just an elite talent. And they've been riding, the strength of those two and their special teams and everything else thus far to split the series. But I have faith in Vegas. I love the way they're I love the construction of their team. I love the depth of their team. Jack Eichel's putting together an MVP type caliber season. So to answer your question, no, I don't have massive concerns about Vegas. We are going to see some upsets in this first round. That's inevitable, but it would be very surprising to me if Minnesota can find themselves at the end of this series as the victors.
And lastly, do you look at the New York Rangers? They extend Chris Drury. He did take them to back-to-back conference finals, and then obviously they had a terrible season, disappointing season this year after a President's Trophy season last year. What do you think kind of coach he's looking for in New York?
Yeah, that's a really good question. First of all, I wouldn't say I was shocked that Drury re-signed, but I know there's a gentleman down in Florida named Brett Peterson, who's also, he was the GM of this year's U.S. men's national team as well. So, with a cup under his belt and a cup final under his belt as assistant GM, and that's sort of been the pedigree of often guys who end up as the GM in places are guys who have that background. You look at, Doug Armstrong, you look at Bill Armstrong, you look at Brad Treliving, Billy Guerin, you just mentioned Minnesota. A lot of these guys are assistant GMs, find success elsewhere, and then get that, kind of get the tap to be a GM. So when New York went back to Drury, it wasn't a shock, but I was thinking, maybe it was time to kind of get some fresh blood into New York and sort of see it through a different lens, a different eye. But now that Drury is the guy, you ask about the head coaching situation. That's really interesting. Often what do teams do, right? They kind of go from one style to the next, right? You go from Gallant to Laviolette or whatever. You're trying to go from sort of the player-friendly guy to the drill sergeant guy or however you want to term it. I wonder if they're going to go with a young, fresher look. Laviolette's a tried, tested, and true guy, and Laviolette's going to end up in one of these places. I bet my life on it that he's not done as a head coach by any means, and he's one of the best coaches ever if you look at his resume. Having said that, maybe they're going to go in a younger direction. Everyone's talking about the coach out at Denver University. What is it? Is it Dave Carl? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, David Carl, Matt Carl's brother. Yeah.
I wonder. I wonder if that's a guy. We see Jim Montgomery came from the NCAA ranks, and he's had pretty good success as an NHL head coach. Maybe David Carl would be someone young. He's only 35 years old, right? So someone who could relate to some of the young players you have, whether it's the Lafrenières of the world that you're trying to, the Keandre Millers and the Lafrenières and some of the younger players on New York, and maybe you go in a direction like that. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge, but I would think that might be, he's sort of a sexy pick that his name's being thrown out around a lot as a guy who could be sort of that next fresh, cool name, the way that John Cooper was many moons ago, the way that Spencer Carberry, right? Like guys who've sort of carved out this young, innovative, great EQ guy who can relate to the players on a really high level. And David Carl's carved out that same reputation.
Dave, great stuff, man. Always good to catch up with you. Enjoy the playoffs.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you the next 48 hours. I'll be back in studio tonight for the Jets, and tomorrow we have a doubleheader. I'm in studio with Montreal as well as Edmonton. And they're not must-wins, as you know, Jason, but essentially they're must-wins.
Yes.
Because if you go down 3-0, that's a big hole. 2-1, it looks very, very different. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Thanks again for having me, though.
You betcha. There you go. That's David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada and Sportsnet. I'll be curious what the Rangers do, because historically they always seem to get a big name coach. Maybe they do it again. We'll find out. 2:40, got a lot of texts coming in, but our next segment is something that I think many of you might need, just a serenity now moment for you. Coming up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off, presented by Christensen Communities Limited, hits the ice this Friday to Sunday, pairing hockey fans with some of their favorite players from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend in support of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Friday features a Champions Luncheon followed by the teams hitting the ice on Saturday and Sunday in a friendly hockey tournament at Terwilliger Rec Center. To purchase a table to the Champions Luncheon or to learn more about how you can get involved in the tournament, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca for more info.
Want an easy way to protect your lifestyle and your loved ones? With Mortgage Guard from Cooperators, you can secure your mortgage through a chosen mix of life insurance and optional critical illness and disability benefits. Plus, unlike some other policies, your coverage amount stays the same despite your decreasing mortgage balance, and your beneficiary can use the proceeds any way they want. That's a lot of protection, all in one convenient plan. Contact Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions for more. Mortgage Guard is a registered trademark of and underwritten by Cooperators Life Insurance Company. Please refer to your policy for applicable coverage limitations and exclusions. Individual circumstances may vary.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through a lovely Thursday afternoon, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Also, a reminder, NFL Draft Night. Tonight, there's not much intrigue at who's going number one. We know that all the arrows pointing toward at number one. We'll see what happens. You got NHL playoffs, Oiler fans. I get it. You might not want to watch. You're a little too frustrated, but sometimes it's good to watch other games. You've got the Panthers and Lightning. Lightning somehow allowed 6 goals on only 17 shots on Vasilevsky, of all people, for goodness sakes, in their first game. Maple Leafs looking to go up 3-0 on the Sens, and then that Golden Knights Wild game should be very interesting. And hey, guess they actually figured it out. You start the first game at 6:30 Eastern, and the second game goes at 7 p.m. Mountain. Huh. Imagine if they did that for Oilers fans. Just saying. Just say. Now, I get why they had to do it for Wild fans, because that's you don't want to start at 9 Eastern again, or sorry, 9 Central again. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And remember, if you do gamble, use your game sense. Go to GameSenseAB.ca and learn more. It's time for Thirsty Thursday. Some of you might need this, and you know what? We're going to make it, because you don't want to chug when you're frustrated. You want to just be able to just kind of absorb it. Take your time. Brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, 2 locations, St. Albert Trail and 118th Ave. And, of course, on the south side, 92nd Ave and 50th Street. Stephen Bezan joins us once again, my man. Steve, we're coming in. We got some old fashions in here, which are really kind of more sippers, because the Oilers fans right now, I know they might feel like they want to just have a shot and get pain, but a sipper might allow you to serenity now a bit more.
A nice responsibly made cocktail to sit back with and reflect on. And
here, just pull your mic a little bit closer.
Oh, there we go.
You can lift it up. Just lift it up with the arm so you're closer.
There we go.
There
Can
you
hear
go.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a nice cocktail, sit back and reflect on the past few games and just hope for the best moving forward.
So we've got some alcoholic ones and some non-alcoholic old fashions.
Yeah, we have one on the end there. We'll finish off with a non-alcohol version. So if you're sober curious, this will be the one for you.
All right. So what do you got first here?
So first up, it's the Bridgeland Old Fashioned. So just a little bit about what an old fashioned is.
Now, 2 secs. When I taste it, am I supposed to have mouth open with the nose to smell it? Same thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally works with cocktails, works with anything. You get the full experience there. So this one is kind of what I think most people think of when they think of an old fashioned. A classic recipe for old fashioned uses bourbon as a really simple cocktail. So if you're just getting into cocktails, looking to experiment a little bit, an old fashioned is a good place to start, because it's a base spirit, which, like I said, usually bourbon, a few dashes of aromatic bitters, some sugar or simple syrup, and maybe a little orange zest, so something fruity to it. So this one is actually made with the local Alberta spirit. I know, especially nowadays, for various reasons, people are looking for replacements for bourbon. And luckily, we have many great options made right here in Canada and also right here in Alberta. So this one, the base spirit is the Bridgeland Tabor Corn Bourbon Spirit.
Okay.
And then it's just a little Angostura bitters, little orange zest, and just some simple syrup. So really basic. This is kind of a good foundation for an old fashioned, I think.
So a lot of people, if you want, you can buy the pre-made ones, or you can just mix it yourself if you want, right?
Yeah. So you could buy, Bridgeland actually has a pre-mixed old fashioned that you can buy in a 500 ml bottle. And then they have their Tabor Corn Bourbon, which is quickly becoming one of our most popular products in the whole store. So you could pick up a bottle of that, pick up some bitters, some other ingredients, and really play around with the mix and see what you like.
All right. That's very smooth. Kind of, I've had I love old fashions actually. I like it with a big ice cube,
Yeah.
right? And because the big ice cube, the big square one, I even have them at home. That I find that can just take a little bit of the bite out of some of the servings without because you don't want too much water, then it just waters it down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love too about old fashions too. I wasn't able to. We got these little tiny cups.
Oh
here.
yeah.
But when you take the first sip, it might be nice and strong and bold. And as you go through it, it dilutes a little bit with the ice cube melting, and then you get more of the flavors out. It's just it's a whole flavor journey through the glass. Yeah. And so are you ready for number 2?
Yeah, you betcha.
So number 2, like I said, an old fashioned is a very basic cocktail, but you can do little twists. You can make it your own. And this is one of my favorite variations on an old fashioned. So it's basically, because I love the Bridgeland stuff, I used the same base for this old fashioned, but what I added was a little bit of ume liqueur.
Ume
Liqueur. So that's a Japanese plum liqueur. And so it adds like a nice layer of sort of dark dried fruits, a little bit of stone fruit like apricot or peaches, and also a bit because a lot of people garnish either with orange or maybe a nice maraschino cherry. And I feel like the ume liqueur has a little bit of that cherry flavor to it. So I think it's a really good addition to a classic old fashioned. It's kind of my go-to spin.
This is your go-to?
This is my go-to.
Like I'll tell you, the smell of this one, like I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, you can definitely taste it in your nostrils.
Yeah, you'll see it's the same spirit, but then I add just a touch of the
that's deceptive. The smell, like when I'm like, oh my God, this one's really gonna hit me.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, it's easier to drink than the first one.
Man,
like it's very, it's almost like sweet, but it doesn't smell or taste sweet at all. Like it tastes sweet, but it doesn't smell it.
Yeah, it's a nice complex nose, and the ume liqueurs are quite sweet. If you have it on its own, just on the rocks, it could be quite cloying, but added together, I think it adds a little roundness, a little more dimension to it. So we have a whole array of ume liqueurs imported from Japan. So it's great to have just a bottle, pick it up and keep it in your fridge and add it to your cocktails. It's a great idea.
I do. I quite like this one. Ooh, that's very smooth.
Yeah, it's just that you get like raisins almost.
Yeah, like that would be a very good introductory, because I know some people like, oh, old fashioned's too hard for me. That would be what's that called again? That'd be the introductory.
Yeah, so it's the Bridgeland old fashioned, but then I add Choya ume liqueur to it.
What's ume? Is that like
it's a type of a Japanese plum fruit.
Oh,
they call it a plum, but it's actually more related to an apricot.
Okay.
So yeah, it's distilled using that.
And those two are a little bit light. They're almost like a lager looking beer color, kind of yellow. And now we're getting into more of like a traditional looking old fashioned.
Yeah. So this one, so far we've done 2 old fashions where a bourbon-esque spirit is the base, but you could actually use any type of spirit when you're making an old fashioned. So you could use even gin.
Really?
Yeah, totally. Mezcal, which we'll get to. This one is a smoked rum old fashioned.
Ooh, so you guys love the smoke.
Yeah, I know. So we keep bringing in the smoky stuff for you. So this one is actually another Alberta distillery. So it's Romero Distillery out of Calgary.
Oh yeah, that's very sippable.
Yeah, and they do some amazing rums. They specialize in amber and dark rums.
Does it have cherry in it?
It doesn't have cherry in it. No, it's the same basic ingredients. So it has the rum as the base, some dashes of bitters.
It's got a very subtle smoky taste to it at the end, but it's definitely might be the sweetest of the 3 so far.
Yeah, it's
probably because there's no bourbon, right?
That's right. Yeah, the rum and you'll see on the finish the molasses and sort of the burnt sugar really comes through from the rum. So it adds a nice, if you like a sweeter, more sugar forward one, but it showcases the spirit. And that's what really makes a great old fashioned, in my opinion, is it's very spirit forward. So no matter what you use, you want to get all the really nice elements from that product.
So now we have our last alcoholic one. And this one's kind of a little bit more like light brown, almost not orange per se.
Yeah, it's kind of like a burnt amber color. Sort of. And so this one uses mezcal as the base. So this is
I've only had mezcal as a shooter. Never again. Like, oh my God, it was awful.
We're gonna have to do a mezcal feature at some point.
Yeah, but not as a shooter. I'll tell you that.
Not as a shooter. No, mezcals are great.
Even in my heydays of drinking, I was like, God, this one almost hurts.
It's because a lot of them can be quite smoky. This one I feel like is pretty toned down. The mezcal I used in terms of the smoke, and this one kind of gives more of a tropical, almost pineapple like flavor to it. And it's a lot more bitter than the other one. So I think this one would kind of appeal to people who maybe like Negronis or sort of a more bitter cocktail.
What's interesting about it is the very first taste, it's going to be sweet, but then it becomes bitter.
Yeah. So that's, if you're making a great cocktail, you have to hold all those elements in balance, like the sweetness, the bitterness, the sort of harshness from the alcohol. It all has to be there, but in good balance. So this one's sort of a departure from the other ones that were a little more rounded and sweet, whereas this one's a little more bitter and a little more tropical sort of fruit flavor. I would like this one on the patio.
I was just going to say, like, that one to me is more like you're sitting there somewhere. And for Oiler fans right now, after last night, you know what? You've been working all day. You've still been frustrated. You can't get out of your mind. This is the one you come home, you just sit back. You have the big ice cube. You have the sifter. You roll it around a little bit. You know, you try to not think about harmonicas and other things and just get yourself in a good mood.
Exactly. Sun's out. You just got to soak it in.
And so that was mezcal, really.
That was mezcal. That's a mezcal base. And it's another little tweak to this one because you could use different sweeteners. Like I said, you use sugar or simple syrup, which is in this one, but there's also a little bit of Oloroso sherry added to this.
So these recipes, if someone comes into Sherbrooke and is like, hey, I want to try the mezcal one, you'll give them all the ingredients?
Yeah, we'll give them all the ingredients. We could even box it up for you, get you a nice package there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it because I think a lot of guys, like when you have stuff like this, hey, you know what? I'll make you a drink. And people are like, hey, do you like this? Well, I'm going to try it. And then most people are like, all right, I want to try. I like trying like something different. I'm not going to give them like a massive one, right? Give them a little bit of an ounce or something to start.
And the beauty with these ones too, like the Bridgeland Old Fashioned, the smoked rum, those are, again, like we said at the beginning, available in its own pre-mixed bottle. So you could either buy all the ingredients yourself and play around with it if that's fun for you, or if you just want to enjoy the flavors, just grab a bottle and you're good to go.
Okay, so now we have a non-alcoholic old fashioned. Have to say, I've never tried one.
Yeah, so this one is made with Mad Moose non-alcohol whiskey, which is actually, it's a newer brand. A young gentleman out of Edmonton. He started the company just recently. He actually was working at Sherbrooke for a while, and he was developing this brand behind the scenes, and he's ready to launch it now. So this is a non-alcohol.
How would you describe
whiskey.
how it smells?
It's really, so they're really going for us again. The smoke seems to be a common thread, but it's really, really smoky, a little herbal.
It's almost like it's like, you know, when you have wet wood and you try to burn it, that type of smoke, that's what it smells like.
Big time. Yeah. So really oaky, really woody. And then just a few dashes, a little bit of just some basic Angostura bitters, and then a little bit of orange bitters to it.
And that is a really delayed, like it's sweet for like 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden it becomes a little warmer in your throat, and it's got a little bit of a smoky aftertaste.
It does.
It's like a lots of different flavors.
Yeah, you feel like the spiciness on the finish, like it's a little bit, and that's a cool part about the non-alcohol spirits, because the one thing that's lacking is sort of that alcohol burn. That's sort of part of
there's none of it.
There's none of that. They try to replicate it a little bit with sort of additions of cinnamon and different spices to it.
I was gonna say, remember those little red hearts, those cinnamon hearts?
Yeah,
that's what that's to me what the aftertaste is
big
like.
I can totally see that. Yeah, it's quite sweet, but it's a nice option there. I think it would work really well if you put an ice cube in there too. Kind of cuts the sweetness a little bit. But it's a great option for those who maybe are cutting back or don't want to have the alcohol to also enjoy a cocktail.
Yeah, because you're right. Because you can get a very similar taste to it. You're right. It doesn't have that bite that the rum or the mezcal or anything like that the bourbon would have. But it has an aftertaste that I find is maybe stronger than the alcoholic ones.
Yeah, and it's something that you can. Again, it's a complex flavor, so you sort of sit back and enjoy it. Even though it's non-alcohol, you don't want to drink it too fast. You want to savor it like you would a regular cocktail and just enjoy the flavors.
Interesting. So old fashions, mezcal, bourbon. Now you mentioned you could do it on gin. Do people actually do gin?
They do. So the first, if it's a little history lesson, so the first documented written down recipe of an old fashioned in 1862, it actually used gin as the base to it. So you could use, any types of gin. We have a really good citrus gin that has nice orangey flavors to it. So use the gin, some dashes of bitters, a little sugar, and away you go. Now that's sort of the base of an old fashioned. So you don't have to use the bourbon. If you're looking for alternatives to the American spirits, there's plenty of different options.
So best tip for anybody who's going to do it at home to make it. What is the one thing you don't want to do when making an old fashioned at home?
The one thing is trying to fit into a certain box, because I think people have a lot of preconceptions about what a true old fashioned is.
Okay.
In my opinion, like it's a great cocktail to really experiment with and have some fun with. So find, get a recommendation from a great bottle shop, like Sherbrooke Liquor, maybe a good base spirit, get your basic bitters, your Angostura bitters, and then just play around with different ingredients, whether it's adding fruit juice to it or some different spices. You could do like an apple pie version, or like it's just a really fun cocktail to play around with and see what you like.
And anybody, you can always follow us on our Instagram page, Jason Gregor Sports 1440 Sherbrooke Liquor. We always, whatever we talk about on the show, you can see it there. And if you want to stop in at one of their locations, of course, the original on 118th and St. Albert Trail, or Southside, 92nd Ave, 50th Street. And they can help. The staff is amazing. You know what? You can mention what you heard in the show, and they'll come up. The non-alcoholic one, the alcoholic one, they have them all. Stephen, great stuff, my man. Always good to catch up to you. We will see you next week. And next week, we're going to have something in honor of Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, we're going to do some tequila next week, so strap in.
I like it. Awesome. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges late at night, on the weekends. That's how you'll build a legacy at legacyheating.ca.
Yeah, I had a guy. 40 update.
4 games on the ice tonight in the NHL at 4:30. Lightning taking on the Panthers. Panthers up 1-0 in that series. The Leafs can take a commanding 3-0 series lead as they're in Ottawa taking on the Sens at 5. At 7 o'clock, you got the Wild and Golden Knights game 3. That series tied at a game apiece. Then at 7:30, Blues and Jets. St. Louis trailing in that series 2-0 in the association. 3 games. Pistons taking on the Knicks. You got the Thunder in Memphis leading 2-0, and the Clippers up against the Nuggets. That series tied at a game apiece. Major League Baseball, couple games down already. Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Royals and the Rockies had the Royals winning 7-4. Mariners got past the Red Sox 4-3, and it was the White Sox over the Twins 3-0. That one just lasting 7 innings. Right now, Brewers lead the Giants 5-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Later tonight, you got game 2, Royals, Rockies, Orioles, Nationals, Angels host the Pirates, the Rays in the desert taking on the Diamondbacks, and the Athletics hosting the Texas Rangers. The Edmonton Oil Kings announcing today that they have not renewed the contract of head coach Luke Pierce after 7 seasons with the club. Pierce was named head coach ahead of the 2022 season and had a record of 74, 118, 9-3 during his tenure as head coach, helping them return to the playoffs this past season. And we've got the NFL draft tonight, 6 o'clock from Green Bay. Right now, Cam Ward, quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes, favored to go number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by our co-host, former NHLer and Shoresy star Terry Ryan. Also, Mark Spector will join us from an airport in Vancouver, and we'll speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yeah, it's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
This is Nuge's Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me,
Thursday afternoon. How are you?
I don't know. Zachary Martin Hyman. Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge.
Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy
Luke
Heating and Cooling.
Pearson.
Proud sponsor of Nuge's Nuggets.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. That's fittedgolf.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul,
I like it.
Edmonton
Awesome.
Trailer.
Now until April 30th, The Brick is saving you more. Save up to 60% off Canadian-made sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. And when you use your Flexity card, get equal monthly payments and 0% interest for 60 months on furniture and mattress purchases. Plus, you're automatically entered to win a $5,000 Brick shopping spree. And the more you buy, the more you save. Up to an additional $1,200 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 5-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, April 29th to May 3rd, 8 a.m. Live online bidding. On offer, core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids, on-site viewing, and timed auction on now. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Cooperators can help make a retirement plan around your plans. Like the wait till that beach in Bali gets a load of 65-year-old me plan. Talk to us today about how to turn your retirement goals into retirement realities.
Looking for a local Cooperators representative? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Don't let me down.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. Well, Oiler fans, I think the team let you down last night. I don't think there's much question about that. I would argue they were less competitive in last night's game than they were in game one. Not good. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where you can play the Daily Grand. On Thursday, your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Total $7.3 million at PlayAlberta.ca. We have lots to get to on the program today. Coming up, Kevin Woodley will be by at 5 o'clock talking goaltenders. We got Speck and Kyprios, Danny Webster talking LA. We're going to talk a little NFL draft as well later on in the show. So should be fantastic for all of you NFL fans. A little racing as well with Livingston. So busy show. I like it. A lot of texts to get to at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, Oilers getting booted in the first round might be a blessing. I think they're willing to pay Bouchard $9 to $10 million. Now he's probably out. Let's take some positives out of this from Rage Texter B. I think the Evan Bouchard negotiation, regardless of what happens in the postseason, is going to be fascinating. to me. Fascinating. Because he's got the offensive points, there's no question. But his defensive game has a few warts. Right? Now, some other guys might have offensive warts, but a good defensive game. Right? And whether you like it or not, points gets you money. Right? Like there's some really good stay-at-home defensemen who score 20 points. They play 20 minutes a night and they get $3.5 million. Other guys play 20 minutes a night but score 50 points. They get $7 to $8 million. That's just how it is. So it's definitely going to be a fascinating negotiation. Now, he's an RFA. They're not just going to let him walk here, people. It's not like they're going to say, "Oh, we're not going to qualify you." Like that would be awful. Like asset management. There's zero chance that's happening. But, how will the negotiation go? Remember, he has arbitration rights. And in arbitration, he'd get a pretty good deal. So, honestly, I had people say, "Hey, if you're Bouchard, why not just take $8 million? Because he's never going to be great defensively." And because, as Rich Winter says, you don't want your guys to get overpaid because that's just never fun. So, yeah, honestly, like the range in numbers, because there's sides there's some people who are like, Bouchard is a $10 million, they firmly believe he's a $10 million defenseman. Now, I think that's a small vocal crowd, but there's people out there. I think he's probably closer to realistically. Now, if you look at the market, because that's going to base it on. I'm basing it on the market. I think he's going to get 8.5 to 9. That's what I think. We'll see. We welcome in Terry Ryan, former NHLer. I'm author. Stars and Shoresy. PR, how you doing?
Oh, not bad. I've been busy. Been here at the Allen Cup, the National Senior Hockey Championship. Popped over to Montreal yesterday quickly to do a few promos. I have a part in a video game coming up, so I had to do some audio for that. But I'm doing the final at the Allen Cup on Saturday, which will feature one Newfoundland team because St. John's plays Clarenville in the semi tomorrow, and the other semi is Wentworth and Minto here from Ontario. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing the color for Rocket Rod Black of everything sports fame. The guy's everywhere, it seems.
Now, what video game are you in?
It's a World War I. There's no name, I don't think, yet. If there was, I'm not at liberty to say. But it's under production. Like, we'll have it all, my part's done. I talked to my agent. I think I just said like 5,000 words and phrases between here and a couple months from now. So just having to pick the time to do it. Yeah.
Like, are you a specific character?
Yeah, I'll tell you now. It's you can't tell the World War I story from at least a Canadian perspective. Not that Newfoundland was part of Canada then, but we fought without talking about the Newfoundland Regiment. So I auditioned for a dude, I think his name was Gordon. And usually when you do an audition, you do it by video and you just send it in. I never usually have any interaction. It's not live. I send it in and they give me the lines. I'll do it 2 or 3 different ways, send it through to my agent. They might give me some pointers. They might just send it in. But in this case, there was like 2 or 3 casting. One of them was the casting director, another couple of assistants. The director was there, a couple of producers. So there's all these people, and they had me do the lines. Now, they knew the story, hadn't been to Newfoundland, and only really knew that I played one on TV with the Ted Hitchcock. That's how I got the audition. But when I did it, and I was talking like this, I said, here, I got a few ways I can deliver this. And as we got into it, I told them the story about the Newfoundland Regiment and that we just got a junior team. And that's their namesake, of course. And we're giving honor to our military roots, which are the regiment. And it continues to be. It's a big part of our history, military and otherwise. And anyway, we spoke for an hour. I hung up. 3 or 4 days later, phone rang. It was my agent and said, bad news is you didn't get Gordon. The good news is they wrote a part for you because I guess I knew so much about it. And I did folklore and everything. It's a big part. And Newfoundlanders know, it's a big story. So they took part of what I told them, looked and wrote around it and created a character for me. So that's the long and short of it.
All right. Well, the hockey is never war. I don't want to downplay what war is. It's a battle for sure on the ice. It's physical, everything like that. Right now, the biggest battle for the Oilers is within themselves because they are gifting chance after chance after chance to the Kings. Their penalty kill can't do anything to stop them. Their power play is anemic thus far. They haven't got a huge big save when they needed it. Like, there is very little. Like, that game last night, TR, was worse than game one. Worse than game one. Well, worse than the third period of game one, because the rest of the game was kind of similar to the first 40 minutes. Like this, 5 out of 6 periods here, Edmonton has been easily the worst team in the series.
It's really odd. You know what's odd from my perspective, man, is they look like at times tentative. Like they don't look like a team who went to game 7. Like they were right at the top of the cake last year, at the top of the hill. They were right there. They were just a period away from hoisting. So to look tentative, I can see if you look tired, right? I can see that. But, and with injuries and bad, but it's not that. It's like, it's noticeable with a lot of teams when they're on the penalty kill and with the Oilers, where you're not like all in. And when you're in like no man's land, you're going to get burned. And I find they're in no man's land a lot of the play. I don't know. It's like they got 1 foot out and 1 foot in. I can't understand why a team like the Oilers, who are so experienced and should be so hungry, I believe they are hungry. It's just a weird dynamic that I'm watching there. It's very un-Oilers like. The only thing Oilers like is that they make it hard on themselves constantly, and they've done it again. But it doesn't seem like the same team I've watched for a couple of years.
Well, you look at. I've said this on the show for years. The Oilers' ability to be Santa Claus is unmatched by anybody in the NHL. And the first 2 games in this series, they almost took it to a new level, even for themselves. Like you look at the 3rd and 4th goal for LA, awful. You look at the Arvidsson, the Kempe first goal from last night. You look at the Byfield play from last night. It was just, and then they're taking too many penalties. Like, I'm kind of curious to see here what they do different. I want to ask you about the penalty kill, because the Kings power play is absolutely shredding them. They're looking. They got Fiala on the right side if they want one-timers. They'll go downloaded to Kuzmenko on the left side. They've scored off of cross-seam passes as the Oilers defense, or like Wallman on the 5th goal, elects to leave his stick in this lane to go cross-check a guy in front of the net, and the puck's not even going to him. Like, it makes no sense. Like, that was such a terrible play, and it just leaves the seam wide open. So I look at Edmonton, and they got to make some better decisions on their penalty kill for sure, but they got to find a way to disrupt them. Like LA's power play looks every time they look dangerous. They got 20 shots on goal and 35 shot attempts, Terry.
I know, but I'm trying to put myself in that position. It's tough to really break down what you're watching, but I go back to that. It seems like they're indecisive, or, like if I know the Kings are a great team that had a great record. Well, great maybe, but upper side of good. And they know what they're doing, but you can't just, and I know it's the power play, so you have to give them time, but there's points to jump in, and there's times to step in, and there's times not to. And far be it from me to sit here and keep criticizing, but I don't know. They just look like they can't make their mind up, and they're not. For me, if I'm a forward on the power play, I hate being really, constantly challenged. You just constantly, and because it forces at least you to think or be a turnover. But the Kings have all the time in the world to think, and on top of that, there's people wide open. If they got all that time, you should be in generally the right positions, but they're not. And to me, it's a mix between like indecisive and not bearing down. Like it looks like almost exhibition. Like you just said, yes, that play, I know the exact one you mean. The stick goes from the lane to just completely out of nowhere, a cross check. Now your stick's not even on the ground. Like, that's exhibition. And the Oilers went to game 7 last year, and their leaders, I know there's a big turnover, but there's enough of them still there that there's that kind of thing shouldn't be happening. I can see that happening in Montreal. And that's the way it goes. That's the evolution of a team that's rebuilding. But I mean, God, the Oilers are the opposite of that. So I don't know. What do you do? If there's anything at all, if I'm in that room, I know that we're capable of more. And they've done it. They've turned it around before, and they've looked just at times that they've looked their worst in the regular season and in the playoffs. So I guess you just got to hope for something like that if you're an Oilers fan. But to me, they had one foot and one, in the water and one out of it. They couldn't make they couldn't make decisions, and when they did, they seemed sloppy and unprepared. It was the last thing I was expecting to see from game 2, when game 1 was so much of that. But game 1, you could have taken, a lot of positives out of that. I didn't see much yesterday.
The one big positive I saw yesterday was the play of John Klingberg. I thought that was his best game for the Oilers. Like, honestly, like his play on the Draisaitl goal was excellent. I thought his poise with the puck was excellent. I didn't see him losing a lot of battles. You know what? His mobility wasn't an issue, which I thought it was at times in the regular season. He was their best defenseman, and I think he was their best defenseman by a large margin.
Yeah, and made some really creative plays. He's an experienced guy. Just, wasn't panicked. Yeah, that was a lone bright spot, one of them. They did have some good shifts, but I'm looking at that though. Here's the other thing. That was a bad look. It was all bad optics, but it's 2-0. Like, they come back and get a win. It's 2-1. Like, the way a lot of people are talking is like, oh, well, what do we do from here? Like you just said about the Bouchard sign. Let's just relax here. It's not over. It's not over. Lots of teams have come back from 2-0. I read a weird stat today that in the last 6, I think, playoff appearances that the Washington Capitals have been up 2-0. They've lost 4 of them. So, those are just weird stats, but it's coming back to Edmonton. We expected it was going to be 1-1. Okay, it's 2-0. Like, I'm not saying that it's not far off panic button time, but we just got to breathe here. Approach this game. They are a bunch of seasoned veterans. They have some of the best players on the planet. And although it's been yesterday was abysmal, I get that, but it could have been 3-2 in overtime. Would have mattered. Like, there's lots of time left. And if I know the Oilers, they make it hard on themselves, but they come back. I mean, I'm not saying it looks good, but let's just pump the brakes here a little bit on giving up if you're a fan. I don't think it's that time yet.
Well, you don't give up, but the Oilers, there's so many areas they have to improve. It's not like it's just one thing, right? Power play, penalty kill. They're just their puck management. That's the part that, like, how does Victor Arvidsson, an NHL player, make that play in a 3-2 game? I don't understand it. Like, he made a really good play on the goal in the deflection, battles 2 guys off, he's got a sandwich, then he breaks out, keeps the stick. Awesome effort for a goal. And, like, I've asked people, oh, you need a save. And I said, okay, sure, you need a save. But can you name one goal in 2 games where the Oilers had an easy goal? Look at their goals they've scored. They're either great individual plays, or Arvidsson's battling off of 2 guys in front, gets a deflection on it. Then compare it to the LA Kings goals. Phil Deneau, wide open in the slot, no one around him. Adrian Kempe, game 1, wide open in front of the net, little backhand deke all day long, beat the goalie. Kempe's first goal last night, he's wide open. He's able to skate, Terry, from the top of the circle to below the dot, untouched, no one around him.
And you pick his spot.
Yeah, pick his spot. Like, people think
how do you blame a goalie? I know.
Yeah, like, you're a shooter and you're like, dude, like I always say, I watch guys in warm up and in practice, and when you have all the time in the world, NHL shooters will hit inside the barred all day.
All day.
That's why it's, what do you take away? Time and space. Because if you give them time and space, they'll kill you. Byfield, tons of time and space, scores. Deneau, time and space, scores. Kempe, 3 goals, all tons of time and space, scores. So I always say, name the one Oiler goal where they had any time and space so far in the series.
And the thing is, that's usually time and space becomes scarcer in the playoffs. That's what I mean. Look at all these guys are open by like 20 feet. Right? And what we're talking about, though, is people that know the difference. So I don't know. What do you do? Is it time for another big speech in the room? Like, what does Knobloch do? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you split up Draisaitl and McDavid. But, I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of – there's no big difference maker left to just come in and change. They got to do it on their own. They're good enough. But, yeah, like you said, like I'm astounded that there was that many rookie-like mistakes. You know, They know better than I do in that room, but they better change it quick.
324, Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X will return. We got more hockey talk, little football on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
So I tell the guy it's leaking because you have a hole in one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with a crescent wrench, you bum.
Oh, boy. It's my rival, Mr. Plunger.
You swing a club like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
Howard, the locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
If you or someone you care for are injured in a motor vehicle accident, please listen up. I'm Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and let me proudly say that we won't be the place your insurer tells you to go. We won't be the place because we don't sign agreements with the insurance company. We don't work for them, we work for you. We do want to be the place that your friends, family, and other medically trained professionals send you. So if your insurance company says that you have to see their therapist, you should know that's not true. You have the right to choose where you go, and we hope you choose us. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
You can expect two things this spring, oil country: playoff beards and weird car noises after coming back from winter LTIR. Don't let something like a worn-out transmission or squeaky brakes keep you from catching the playoffs. Whether you need quality brakes, top brand oils, or a battery with more energy than 97 on the ice, Napa Auto Parts has all your trusted parts, tools, equipment, and automotive needs to keep your vehicle in winning shape for the games ahead. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is the house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, that's how it is right now. We'll see if the Oilers can. Hey, they just want to try to get to the top of one series. So, if you're looking for positives, each of the last 3 years, a team has trailed 2-0 at one point in the series and come back to win. Now, obviously, lots have trailed 2-0 and didn't win, like the Oilers against the Florida Panthers. So that was in the Cup final. But we'll see. Oilers right now, you can't think about the series win. You got to think about winning one game tomorrow night. Because if you think the odds of coming back from a 2-0 deficit are long, wait till you see what they are for a 3-0 deficit. So, yeah, it is a big win needed tomorrow night for the Edmonton Oilers as we get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure. They make your life more enjoyable with running water and indoor plumbing. They're the grinders of construction. GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Standing in the Vancouver airport, watching the travelers walk by, Jay.
Ooh, yeah, halfway home, shall we say. Spec, you were in the building last night. The game, sometimes there's little things you see in the rink that don't always come up on TV, because what I saw on TV was not pretty. I thought the Oilers' effort top to bottom was worse in game 2 than it was in game 1. Their execution, I should say.
Did you think so? I didn't think so. I thought the first 2 periods were a lot closer. What was the score after 2 periods?
3-1.
3-1. Yeah, I thought they were much tighter and closer and had a better bite out of the first 40 minutes than they had. Now, having said that, the season outscored 7-0 in the opening half of the first 2 games, right? So, we're splitting up hairs here. But I would say to you, I thought they were closer in the first 2 periods. But they weren't the better team in the first 2 periods, right? They didn't score first again. They trailed. They've been chasing this series since the moment they dropped the puck. So marginally better, but who cares, right? You lost 6-2.
Yeah, like you give up first of all, they're taking too many penalties, taking the most penalties of any team in the NHL, and even everyone's like, yeah, but one was over the glass. Okay, guess what? On those 2, they didn't get scored on. They get scored on the over the glass or the delay of game. So they're 5 for 8. Or sorry, I guess they've only killed off 3 of the other 8. It's even worse. So that would help because it's 2. The game started the exact same way. First 8, okay, LA gets a power play, goal. Game 2, LA gets a power play. This time 5 minutes later, goal. Yeah, same result. The Oilers are chasing, then they're down 2-0, then they're down 3-0. And the one thing, Spec, that was similar to both games, we saw it in goals 3 and 4 in game 1, that Bouchard some egregious errors directly to goals. And they had more egregious errors that allowed 2 easy goals for the LA Kings in game 2.
Yeah, and the way it always goes is the team that loses always says, oh, we gave away this goal and we gave away that goal. And the team that wins, I never hear a team winning saying, the only reason we won is because the other team gave us all those goals, right? You earn your goals, but you give away the other team's goals. There's no question they're making some giant mistakes, and LA is absolutely capitalizing. The quality of chance for me, Jay, is I'm watching Kempe twice last night and in this series scoring goals where he's got scads of time. He's an elite shooter. He's got all day to pick his spot, take his time, rifle it inside a post or make a move at the top of the goalie's crease. I don't see Draisaitl scoring that goal. I don't see Draisaitl getting that time. Oh. He's every bit as lethal or more. But guess what the difference is? Edmonton scored 2 goals last night. Draisaitl had to make a real nice tip on an excellent play by Klingberg. And little Arvidsson fought off 2 guys in the slot to make an outstanding tip. The point is the 2 Edmonton goals, they were contested and they were under pressure and they had guys on their back. And it was they had to really make a high skill tip under pressure. LA scoring goals where they're a little bit like beer hockey goals, Jay, where you walk in, you got all kinds of time. You go, well, let's see, where am I going to shoot today? That's the difference in this series for me.
Yeah. Well,
one of the differences in the series.
Well, that's one, Spec. Well, what about the special teams are 2 major ones. This is a role reversal. The Oilers special teams are awful right now. You can't sugarcoat it. Their penalty kill's terrible and their power play is anemic.
Yep. What happened to a Bouchard blast from the point that used to be an option? What happened to Hyman putting one in from the top of the crease? Like those days, I don't know if they're gone forever, but they're sure gone for a long time.
Yeah, well, look,
Hyman,
right? look at their setup. It's the same every time. Come in the zone, they drop it off high to Danuge and Hopkins on the wall, and the Kings are expecting it, and then they don't get set up. They've got to on their zone entry take the puck deeper and set up there. That's what they have to start with.
Well, the Kings are running a really simple power play, and generally their offense. They're making like one pass and going to the net with it, either skating it to the net or shooting it to the net. They're not wasting a lot of passes before they get the puck to the net. And it's putting pressure on the net front. And I think the reason they're doing it is they're secure that they're winning the net front battle. They own the front of the Oilers' net, so why not put the puck there, right? You know, the goal that Kuzmenko scored last night was a shot off the backboards. It came right out in front. Who's putting it in? It's not an Oiler grabbing that puck. It's Kuzmenko scoring from 3 feet away, you know, on a goalie that, I mean, unless you get hit with a puck from that distance, it's going to go in. So, it's, you know, if I own the net front as bad as the Kings own the net front, I'd do the same thing. I'd just get my guys down there and I'd fire pucks in there and start tapping them in like the Kings are doing.
TR?
Spec, what positives do you take out of game 2?
Ooh, that's a good one. I actually wrote a piece today. It's going to be up on Sportsnet right away, kind of looking at, you know, that there's got to be some positives in here somewhere. So what are the positives? You know, I mean, I guess some of the positives for me are there's a lot of seemingly easy mistakes that didn't have to get made. You know, it shouldn't be too hard to clean up Arvidsson panning on a puck and putting it in the slot for Kempe to bury, right? It shouldn't be too hard to clean up Nurse getting on the wrong side of the puck in his own end and leaving Bouchard hung out to dry on a 2-on-1. Like, Knobloch's right to an extent, guys. A lot of the goals, they're giving up goals from very rudimentary mistakes. So I guess the positive is if you come out, Knobloch said this morning, you got to come out and play a 2-0 or 2-1 game. If they could actually find that game defensively and make LA earn their goals, you know, the hard and honest way, maybe you can find some change in this series.
True enough. Now, it seems like a foregone conclusion. But is in your mind, how much of this was on Skinner, and is he definitely not going to play game 3?
In my mind, he's definitely not going to play game 3. If I was the coach, it's time to sit him down. In my mind, he's about the 4th problem that the Oilers have. That's in my mind. Could he play better? Obviously, he could play better. He's let in 11 goals. But I look at every single goal and I go over them again when I get back at the end of the night. And if he played out of his mind, instead of letting 11 goals in, he probably would have let in 8. You know? Yeah. So I think it's a total cop-out to lay all this at the feet of the goalie, and it just takes the rest of the team right off the hook. This is a team problem, these grade A chances. It is not a goalie problem. You know, until there's only 3 of them a night, then I'm going to say it's a goalie problem. But when there's 7 or 8 of them a night, sorry, pal, it ain't a goalie problem.
Yeah, they could go to Pickard, but I'll say this, as Pickard saw in his first shot, if you're just going to give guys all day long to walk in, guess what? He ain't saving the bacon of this team. Now, I know the game was over at that point and whatever, and Edmonton wasn't playing great, but the point of the matter is you continually give guys that much time and space, they're going to bury it. It's just that simple. So
Kempe could have taken a selfie on the way in before he shot that puck in. Like, come on.
Yeah. Very true. Well, Spec, fly safe, and we will chat with you tomorrow.
All right, boys, enjoy the show.
There you go. That's Mark Spector joining us. He's halfway home in Vancouver on transfer and then heading home as the Oilers are already back in Edmonton and likely just hanging out, probably thinking anything but hockey at this point. Play with your kids, relax, go for a walk the dog, do anything. And then tomorrow they'll wake up and then you start thinking about it to get in the mode because the Oilers, I think it's fair, TR, that they've played so poorly. Like, Arvidsson should be able to just pass the puck, right? So that could eliminate one goal. Darnell Nurse, don't go above the guy. right? Just stay below, stay in your zone. Evan Bouchard, don't pass the puck right up the middle of the ice, right? Don't blind pass it. Like some simple things that are at least would limit. Now, that doesn't solve any of the special teams problems. So that's why that's only cutting down some of the issues. You still got your special teams. You could start by taking fewer penalties. The Oilers have taken 5 each game, most in the NHL. It's not ideal. So we'll see. They got to improve in a lot of areas there. There's no.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal when you're not a physical team. I could see if they were the 75 Broad Street Bullies taking those penalties. But we've already talked about it. They barely check anybody, and they're leading the playoffs in penalties. Not good. Move your feet.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Few Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X will return. Livingston joins us on the Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe. And Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Struggling to make ends meet? You're not alone. Many people are facing tough times and finding it hard to afford the essentials. I'm hearing from people experiencing this every day. My name is Parveen Middleton. As a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO in Edmonton, I'm here to help you take control of your finances with a solution made just for you. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and BCS Market Garden Equipment. Winter left a mess, and the Lawnmower Hospital brings you solutions. From BCS tillers and rotary plows to power harrows and two-wheel garden tractors that go places a traditional tractor wouldn't dare. You'll find everything BCS at the Lawnmower Hospital, including attachments, accessories, hitches, wheels, and tires, plus more. See lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Thursday afternoon. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Let's get to the racing report brought to you by Cantork. They offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Learn more at cantorque.com. Colin Livingston joins us once again. CL, how you doing?
You know, we offer a lot of can torque, but clearly we don't offer a lot of post refreshing and updated taglines. I'm sick of hearing that thing. Everybody else has to.
Yeah, get a new one. There you go.
We're kind of busy in the personal world right now, but I promise I'll work on it here next week.
Oh yeah, you had your walkthrough.
Yeah, and possessions tomorrow.
Oh, you're moving. Did you get a moving van?
We've got moving company.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we've got
because there's a rule, like at a certain stage of your life, you don't ask your friends to move. Like siblings, unfortunately, your siblings, like they're all family, like you have no choice. But friends, I think there's a certain age you're like, you don't ask me to move.
We're doing a hybrid. So we've got all of our big stuff being professionally moved by a moving crew. And then we've got kind of the odds and sods that are still sitting in my race trailer that we'll be doing on Sunday. So there's a couple of volunteers coming in, but not like the olden days with pizza and beer.
Now, F1, they just finished their first triple header of the season, back to back. And man, there is you look at the, like, in qualifying, 1st to 10th was almost like nothing separated. There wasn't even a second. Like the cars are pretty closely matched. So we really kind of are seeing, you know, who's the best driver at times.
It's the least little bit of margin between success, quote unquote, success and failure. Again, it was like 0.6 of a second from 1st to 10th. Is it the best driver? Well, that definitely helps. But these cars, like if you make the smallest misadjustment on your car, if you don't get your car perfect, that's the difference now.
Yeah. Well, you look at, like, the other thing is, like, the quote dirty air. Like Piastri wasn't gaining any ground on Max. Then Max goes in, he has to serve his 5-second penalty. Then Piastri's in front, and guess what? Now he just stays there because all the guys behind him. And for anybody that's like the dirty air, that then their tires get a little bit hotter. Now you're not you're not making up any ground.
Yeah. So what's happened as these cars have developed? We keep saying this week after week, but the cars were designed more in this generation since 2022 to suck down to the track. They've added a lot of aerodynamic components to the cars. So now there's a lot of, you know, traditional aerodynamics. What's happening is we're back to where we were at the end of like 2020 and 2021, where when a car's following, the air is so turbulent and it's so disrupted that they can't make the downforce when they follow. So if you're in the lead, you've got a massive advantage, except in these crazy DRS zones. This is what they need to kind of wipe the slate clean and hopefully go back to a more traditional model in 2026. Lewis keeps talking about, you know, trying to get away from the ground effect cars because they've been very, very, very difficult to drive.
What do you make of Sonoda? Is he trying too hard? He's got some, you know, back-to-back crashes.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty rough weekend for sure. Obviously there's a lot of pressure when you move up to be Max's teammate. Really unforced error in second practice. He stuffed it in the wall in the exact same place that Max did a couple of years ago in qualifying. Then, you know, really made a bit, not even a catastrophic mistake, but little bit over aggressive on the start where he pushed into Gasly, ending both of their days. You know, is it pressure getting to him? Is he trying to kind of drive past the limit of the car? Tough to say. You know, it's really hard to get inside a driver's head to know what's going on, but he's shown speed. He's staying fairly close to Max in the practice sessions, just hasn't seemed to match what Max has in qualifying. You know, I think he'll definitely get closer throughout the year. I don't think that there's any threat that he's going to be pulled out of that seat like Liam Lawson was. So he can be moderately secure knowing that ride is his for the rest of the year. And hopefully he can settle down a little bit.
Looking at, just kind of overall, is there any driver who, like, outside of the top, 5 or 6 that's really impressed you early on?
Been really, really impressed with Isaac Hadjar. Really coming in as a true rookie, never having done any racing, jumping in. Again, it's the junior team, but it's still part of the Red Bull organization. obviously had a really like the worst possible start he could have had in Australia, where he crashed the car in the outlap, didn't get to run the race. But since then, he's shown a lot of poise. He's not making a lot of not taking a lot of crazy risks on track. He's progressing every single race weekend. So yeah, he's definitely standing out. Really cool to see Pierre Gasly. He's led practice sessions. He's made it to Q3 a handful of times. Really just a crazy, like really, really shocking surprise that he manages to do this with, what they admit is a not very good car.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, right? Like they're like, our car's not that good, but it's they're still being competitive, which is and it's been more competitive. Lots of different guys winning. Yep. Max Verstappen. It's interesting. He he's very aggressive, right, when he wants to be, but he's complaining about when the rules work against him, right? Like Max is the best heel in F1 because he's very good. So if you cheer for him, you love him, and if you don't cheer for him, he gives you lots of reasons not to like him.
Yeah, if you could edit the paint jobs of his car onto the other car, and he watches it one way with the 33 or the number 1 on the side versus the way it actually happens, no matter what, he's never wrong. You never ever hear Max, you never ever hear Red Bull say that they made a mistake. The only time that Red Bull says they make a mistake is when they say they made a mistake at Max's detriment. Like, we didn't get the car quite right in qualifying, we didn't have the car, but they never ever blame Max for the things that Max does.
Let's switch over to IndyCar, and they've got the open testing at IMS leading up to the 500.
Yeah.
I know you've said, man, this would be a perfect time for them to have a race this weekend. Sometimes I wonder, like, when F1's racing come out, you'd probably get a lot more eyes on you if you're racing this weekend, but maybe there's other things involved that I'm unaware of. But what do you make of IMS? Like, because you race everything there, right? Like, is this not like the mecca of racing?
This is truly the racing capital of the world right now. I'll admit I'm not a hockey fan like I once was. I don't care like I once did, but I know that this time of year, especially in Edmonton, it's special when you're in the playoffs, and it kind of, everyone gets a little bit more excited.
Yeah.
April is also the Masters. Once, there's golf tournaments every weekend, but once they get to Augusta, everything just gets a lot better. And, for me and for a lot of race fans, anything that happens at Indianapolis is on a different level. They're just testing. They're just practicing the last 2 days, and just getting to see the facility, getting to see cars on track, seeing what they're doing. It's indescribable. I mean, I've been really fortunate to have been there. I don't know. I started going down there in about 2008, and Alex ran up until I think 2017, 2018. Just getting to see the venue, getting to the second I see it on TV, I remember watching it as a kid. I remember walking through every one of those turns that we were there. I broke out this vintage shirt from, I think this was 2016 when Alex was running with Sarah Fisher Racing, which doesn't exist anymore. Everything about that venue is just awesome. And it's shockingly unimpressive from the outside. I still remember the first time I pulled up to 16th and Georgetown after seeing some of the bigger NASCAR tracks, and they come at you from like miles away. You can see Daytona from all over the place. When you get up to Indianapolis, it's like, this is really it. Like, it's in my opinion, it's kind of shabby looking. You see a lot of pipes and you see a lot of electrical work. But once you get inside, it's like, holy moly, is this place awesome.
Oh God. Well, it's just like the overhead pictures and everything. Like there's like 4 courses in it. Like Churchill Downs is inside of it. Like it's like the Rose Bowl stand. For anybody, when you see the overhead shot of it, that to me is what's wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's 4 holes of it's not like a mini golf course. It's not like an executive.
No.
Brickyard Crossing, 18-hole championship course. They've actually hosted, I think they hosted the Champions Tour. They've hosted the LPGA. Like it's no joke of a golf course. And 4 of the holes actually play inside. without really taking away any. It's not like it's cramped because there's 4 holes of a golf course. There's a dirt track, there's a museum, there's the pagoda, there's the garages, there's a bazillion things. It's really awesome.
Yeah, like if you look at the whole track, what you could fit inside of it would be Churchill Downs, the Taj Mahal, Vatican City, Yankee Stadium, Liberty Island, the White House, Roman Coliseum, Rose Bowl Stadium, all of them together
at the same time.
At the same time, would fit in case anybody's never not seen it. It is it's a pretty big one. So, do you have anyone that you're liking for the 500?
Always go back to my boy Scotty D. I mean, Joseph Newgarden's won 2 in a row. Penske's looked pretty strong in the bits of testing. They kind of run in 2 different configurations. Yesterday they did veterans, then they ran rookie orientation. Today was higher boost, like they really turned the engines up to get people back to feeling speed. And the difference in speed and lap times, yesterday they were running about 222 miles an hour. Today they were running over 232 miles an hour. So that's a massive difference. Multi-champion Takuma Sato, he fenced it. Kyle Larson, he overdrove, he fenced it, meaning that they drove it into the wall, kind of ending their day very early. But they do, I actually didn't look at the schedule, but they do race this weekend, I believe. They should be in, I think this weekend is, next weekend's Alabama. Yeah.
And lastly, going back to F1, what do you make of Gasly and Alpine? Like he's been into Q3 3 times already. Like they've got a lot of speed. How can they take that into a race?
I think where they're getting killed in the race is the engine. They're still powered by their own built Renault engine. Next year they're making the switch to Mercedes, but they're, Gasly in preseason testing, he topped some times and he was towards the sharp end of the stick. Again, he's closed. He's led some practice sessions this year already. I think it's just a matter of time. It's a world of difference between putting together a qualifying lap and race pace, because the cars are configured so much differently with, heavy fuel, having to run, multi compounds of tires and all the rest. He just needs a bit of luck, but he should be finishing realistically top 5 a handful of times this year.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you. So there's potential there. He's got the potential to be top 5, and with a little luck, maybe on a podium once this year. So we'll see. Colin, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy the move.
Looking forward
Serenity
to it.
now.
No,
Serenity
all
now.
good. Super
okay.
positive,
Oh,
man.
there you go. I like it. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Let's get to Sports 1440 update. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The update brought to you by Booster Juice. Refreshing and new. It's just what the spring ordered at Booster Juice. The mango pineapple fusion of the Bango Mango Booster, or a little tartness of raspberry and lemon in the Zesty Berry Booster. Try them today at Booster Juice.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
4 games on the ice tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, getting going in about 35 minutes. Lightning and Panthers meeting in Tampa. 4 leads 1 game to none. You got the Ottawa Senators looking to get back into their series against the Leafs at 5. At 7 o'clock, Wild taking on the Golden Knights. Then at 7:30, the Jets can take a commanding 3-0 series lead over the St. Louis Blues. In the association, Pistons and Knicks meeting at 5. That series tied at a game apiece. OKC in Memphis taking on the Grizz at 7:30, leading 2 games to none. And Clippers host the Nuggets, tip off at 8 from the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. That series tied at a game apiece. So, Major League Baseball right now, bottom of the 7th, Brewers lead the Giants 5-4. We've got a doubleheader today. Earlier on this morning, it was the Royals getting past the Rockies 7-4. Right now, scoreless in Game 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Later tonight, Orioles, Nationals, Angels, Pirates racing on the Diamondbacks, and it's the Athletics up against the Rangers. The Edmonton Oil Kings announcing today that they have not renewed the contract of Luke Pierce as the team's head coach after 7 seasons with the organization. He was named the head coach of the team ahead of the 2022 season, and he had a record of 74, 118, 9-3 during his tenure, helping them return to the playoffs last season. And the NFL draft goes tonight at 6 o'clock from Green Bay. Right now, Cam Ward, the huge favorite to go number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and talk some hockey. I'm Connor Halley. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You know how you look forward to all your favorite sports coming back in the spring? Soccer, baseball, golf,
Well, GS Construction looks forward to getting back to work with the warmer weather. We're all excited and geared up for this very busy time of year. The groundbreaking season is upon us, and GS Construction is ready to roll with all sorts of new projects. Projects that help the community and make the place we live in better. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Sexy Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice this Friday to Sunday, pairing hockey fans with some of their favorite players from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend in support of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Friday features a champions luncheon followed by the teams hitting the ice on Saturday and Sunday in a friendly hockey tournament at Terwilliger Rec Center. To purchase a table to the champions luncheon or to learn more about how you can get involved in the tournament, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca for more info.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of cons has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I love being Canadian. Despite what's happening south of the border, we've never been more united in our country, and that's a good thing. Know what else I love? The great outdoors in Canada.
We can wake up on the prairie and fall asleep under a Rocky Mountain sky.
That's right, Bob. Visitors will travel halfway around the world just to experience what we have in our own backyard. We're so lucky to live here, and that's why the good Lord created the RV, so you can spend more time in the great outdoors.
And the best RV is a used RV, right, Rick?
Every RV is a used RV, Bob. Unless it's still on the dealer's lot, it's used. All of the RVs at No Bull are used as well, which means they're already in Canada. Nobody can slap a tariff on a used RV. If it's here and it's used, that means it's Canadian. No surprises, no worries, just the best outdoor experience Canada has to offer.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.403. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The day in between, the day of mourning for Oilers fans after a disappointing effort last night. There's no other way to describe that effort. It's disappointing. I know Speck thought it was better. I don't know. They're still down 3-0, so I guess they weren't down 4-0. But the game started basically the same. Kings get the first power play. They score. They're up 1-0. Oilers have one okay chance, not a great chance. Don't score. That's it. And not much else after. So they're at home now. Obviously, scoring first will help. The Oilers haven't had a lead yet in the series. So not good. They've basically been behind there's 120 minutes of play. They have been behind for 105 combined between the two games. It just isn't good enough. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor100. Get a free play at PlayAlberta.ca. Got NBA playoffs, NHL. Check it out. Casino, lotteries, they got it all. PlayAlberta.ca. Jason Gregor, welcome back. Terry Ryan with us. TR, I do want to, we got a few texts coming in. TR, I know you were a goal scorer. You look at the Oilers and all the chances they give up. How much of it would you blame on Skinner never making a big save, or the Oilers just giving them too much time in open space?
Wow. Well, I mean, do you blame someone for never making a big save? You hope they make it. He's sufficient. I can't pick which ones of those he should have stopped. Like Speck said, if he stood on his head, he would have let in 9. I would have to blame it more on the lack of defense for sure. It's by committee there. That's what I would think. I mean, I wouldn't be thrilled if I'm Skinner with the way I'm playing. Obviously, there's goalies that steal games, and every team that wins usually has at least 1 or 2 of those on the way, if not 6 of them. But yeah, these are, it's very, very, I think if you were to watch these games, knowing hockey or not, it would be more glaring the defensive play of the Oilers than it is the goals that are going in the net.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The lack of penalty kill, the lack of power play, also would add in there for sure. Can goaltending be better? Yes. I'm not excusing the goaltender. Could he make a big save or 2? Sure. But to think that it's the major problem is too simplistic. And frankly, I think it's weak because you're just giving a pass to all the skaters. No, it's a goalie. And Stuart Skinner had a bad regular season. That doesn't have anything to do with this series. Zero, zilch, nothing. Nada. Has nothing to do with it. The Kings are crushing them on the power play, and the Oilers' power play themselves hasn't done anything. So it's not good enough. You can change Pickard, but is he going to help their power play? I don't think so. Is Pickard going to suddenly mean that the Oilers play? Oh, we got Calvin Pickard. You know what? I'm not going to pass the puck up the middle of the ice anymore and just put it on the other team's stick. Right? I'm not going to stop on the wall or be above the puck anymore. Do you honestly think the players are thinking that in the game? Because if that's the case, then they got much bigger issues. Because then it's like they're sabotaging. I'm going to sabotage Skinner by making horrendous plays so that he can get sat. Ha ha! My great plan has come to fruition. Like, think about it. Right?
Jason, sorry to cut you off. I thought you were done your thought there. I really didn't mean to cut you off. And I'm having a weird echo, but if you can hear me, good. If you're the Kings, I don't think today you're saying, let's shoot it from everywhere. This guy's a bag of holes. I think you're saying, let's keep penetrating that awful defense. You know what I mean? In other words, before the series started, I mean, both teams knew a lot about each other, but they knew that, I mean, it's still a new series. It's a new year. It's a new experience. But having these games being played, if I'm the Kings, I'm just going with whatever. I'm continuing to go. I'm not just firing it from anywhere because the goalie sucks. I'm just going, okay, this is what worked. We had all kinds of, let's wait until they figure that out before we change anything. And it's more to do with the whole team, and I wish I could say just even 3 or 4 play, but it literally is the whole team.
Oh, yeah. Like you can go from a lot of different places to see some of the mistakes that are being made by, defensively. But I'm trying to think of guys like John Klingberg. I thought was the Oilers' best defenseman last night. I liked his game. I didn't see much of an issue with Klingberg. Nurse and Bouchard, struggled at times. Wallman, I didn't love his game, some of his decisions. It's, you go up front and yeah, like I guess maybe the only good thing is that they're all in it together as a group because there's very few guys who can sit there and say, you know what, I'm playing really awesome. I think I'm playing great. Like I don't think that is the case right now. Now let's get to our Here Comes the Sun promotion. Your chance to win, courtesy of Action Electrical, a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. Now you can keep it or you can gift it to someone. Now, if you gift it, you can gift it to someone who owns their home. They have to reside in the Edmonton area. So if you're outside of the Edmonton area, 50 kilometers each way, but you end up being the winning name, great. But you have to gift it then to someone. So keep that in mind. Okay, so you must be a homeowner. Also, shingles newer than 12 years. If they are older, the reason that is, then they put it on, and then guess what? It's going to cost you way more when you have to replace your shingles in a few years. So keep that in mind. Today, everybody needs a little bit of a break. We've done some trivia. We've done the code words, all that. Today, it's just very simple. All you have to do is text in with your name, believe. Because maybe you believe that the Oilers can cut. Even if you don't, which I can understand why, because the odds are definitely stacked against them. The way they're playing, history, all that stuff, it's stacked against them. I get it all. But spell believe correctly, put your name in, and we will pick somebody who believes, because you probably need a little bit of a positive upkeep right now. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, what about the power play? What do you think they got to do different? Well, I love this question because, TR, when I watch Oilers power play right now, I think it's become a little bit too predictable. There's not as many. Like, I look at LA, and they're attacking sometimes from the right side on Fiala. Other times, they're Kuzmenko down low on the left side. Then they're going to go down in the right corner. They're going to look for Kopitar on the left side. So they've done lots of different looks. The Oilers power play right now hasn't had many looks. They've only generated their first unit in 8.5 minutes, has 5 shots on goal. 5 shots on goal in 8.5 minutes. And too often, they come in with speed, 5 feet within inside the blue line. They're dumping it off to either boards, usually the left side, sometimes the right. And LA's pressuring them, and nothing's happening. So I think the simple one for me is they got to keep McDavid at the speed. Just go deeper, right? Go deeper a little bit and set up down there. Come up you got to try something different, do you not? You can't just keep doing the same thing. It's not working. And it hasn't worked for a while. What would you do?
It used to be so potent. I know. I don't know. Like, what seems to be missing, that, that big Bouchard clapper too. Like, that used to be somewhat predictable. You don't see it as much. And again, it's hard for me to sit here if the words come out of my mouth to try to criticize McDavid and Draisaitl in any way. It's almost humorous to do that. But the thing is, you're watching it, I'm watching it, and it's predictable, and it's regular season stuff that I think in the playoffs is easier to defend. Like the Kings know what's coming, and they're just loving it, right? They're just keep playing right into our hand. Just keep playing right into our hand. We know what it's going to be. We know Draisaitl likes to shoot from the line. We understand what happens down there. We know McDavid's going to I know what you mean. You're saying bring it in further so there's more. So any overcommitment means someone's more open. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Well, to me, I look at it. Their zone entry, once it gets set up, LA's expecting it, and they're pressuring right away. And
right away.
And
that's what I was saying the Oilers aren't doing.
No, they're not doing that. I totally
right when you pressure right away, and I know there's an extra person out there, but at least make them make the play, right? Don't just give. I mean, you really could. The way the Oilers are playing their penalty kill, you could put an American Hockey League power play out there. If you're not going to challenge me, I have a good chance to score, right? Just make me make the play, and then okay, hats off to you. But they're not quite committing, yet they're not in the right position, which is the worst of both worlds. Not good in the playoffs.
No, not. So what would you do different, though, if you're the Oilers on the power play?
I would do what you said. I would take it and I would go in further with it, and I just start using the points until that's it. I just use the points because they got a one of the best shots in the NHL back there. And when the Kings start to cheat up, then you work your magic down low. Then you let Draisaitl go with it. It's not. I would want to open up the most possible space for creativity with those forwards that I had, and I don't think they're making that happen. And I just concentrate more on the point. So have Bouchard's got one of the best shots in the league. Put it back there, blast it at the net, and not just aimlessly. He should be pretty open with a scoring threat back there if they do it the right way. And then once you got people overcommitting there, and it is the Oilers with an extra player on the ice. For God's sakes, it shouldn't take me to say this. It's just. But that's what I think you do. You just use the time and space to your advantage, spread out more, and then let the creativity take over.
833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Guys, to me, the PP is all perimeter. Nobody in front of the net willing to pay the price. Hyman's there. I look at LA's power play, and let's break down their goals. Right. So the first one was the Kuzmenko goal in game 1. Right. He's not in front of the net. He's off to the side. It's like a slap pass because Edmonton's defense are pressing up and they're leaving those guys. So LA's exposed that because they got 2 goals. Kuzmenko in game 1, Kuzmenko in game 2. Now that was a missed point shot off the end boards, but still he was behind. Wallman had moved up, can't come back, recover, boom, in the net. The Kopitar one, to me, that was a blatant error by Wallman. He left, he had his stick in the lane. He turned to cross-check Brant Clark. I'm not sure why. That completely opens up the lane. Thank you very much. Boom, crossing pass, Kopitar goal. The Fiala 5-on-3. Now 5-on-3s are rare, but still it was win face off clean, can't be over to one-timer, boom, in the net. Like they've scored from lots of different ways. Like I'm just looking at Edmonton's, even their shots. They're not getting any real dangerous looks from the different ones they're setting up. I find their power play right now is a little bit stubborn and a little bit slow in moving the puck. We don't like LA's feeling it. It's clearly they're a more confident power play, TR. And like you're on power plays a lot. It's like when you're feeling it, guys, oh yeah, hey, TR, thanks everybody. And you're just dishing it around and it's playing free. Edmonton seems like they're really working to try to make something happen where LA's just kind of relaxing and they're so confident. Hey, tick, tack, toe, tick. Oh, wait. Yeah. And goal. Right. That's like, it's totally different. And because it's not like LA is moving around a whole bunch. They're just moving the puck quicker.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to some degree, I guess we also have to give the LA penalty kill some credit there. Right. But the more I think about it, I don't know if there's one good answer. If there's anybody in the world that should know the power play, it's the Oilers and all of these guys. The team has changed a lot, but the power play has been the same. And they just set a record a couple of years ago. So guys, figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, hey, it's true. But I look at the Oilers, and now they'll be on home ice. The crowd's going to be absolutely bananas tomorrow night. You can feed off of it. The LA that does matter. There's an emotional boost there for sure. But man, I think the start is crucial to the Oilers. They can't take the first penalty in the first 7 minutes of the game. They've done that twice in a row, and it has not worked. Right? They got to be you got to push LA and get them defending, get them on their heels for extended period of time. I think that's going to be crucial. And more importantly is, as the game goes along, they just and it shouldn't even be that hard, TR, but the gifts that they've been giving, and it's inherent in the group, and I don't know how you get rid of it other than I don't know, something significant's got to change, because this has been like a 4-year problem that goes away for a bit and then it comes back and down a bit. But the major gifts have been an issue for this team for the last decade, really, if we're being honest. And even when they're good and they can put it aside, but it still kind of creeps back in. And it's really crept into their game in the last 2.
Yeah. And those are inherent things that, like, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but they face. I mean, if things don't work out here in the first round, that's what's going to be a major problem. because, I mean, on the surface, I don't want to get ahead of myself here and count them out, and I don't. I said that earlier. But, you know, these are things that shouldn't be happening, and we keep going back to it. There's some of the best players in the world, and these problems that they're having, and, you know, something doesn't sit right with me. I'll go back to it with, you know, they're the least physical team in the league, and yet they're leading the penalties, like, right, you know, in the postseason, that or one of the least physical. It's just something's not right there, and the there's something to be said. Ever heard that it's simple: work hard but work smart, right? And it seems the Kings are real good at that, and the Oilers aren't at the moment. They have been at times, but you know, you're going to work hard, you're going to finish hits, go do it. You know, work hard, work smart. The Ottawa Senators could use some of that right now. I mean, they're like a bat out of hell. They're all over the place. They're getting all kinds of hits and everything in, but they're playing a little bit irresponsibly. Right. And I think some of that transfers over to the Oilers, but they're, you know, you're taking penalties. Sometimes they're justified. Others, in this case, guys, you're not that physical a team. Why are you taking so many penalties? And if you want to be physical, just, you know, get it in behind, go old school. You know, Kane tried to a degree. I mean, it's hard for him to do all of that, but I did notice a couple of shifts that they were just, like I said, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It didn't seem like they were committed to any style of play at all.
Yeah. We'll return. Nick Kyprios will join us next to continue on the playoff talk on the Jason Gregor Show with Terry Ryan, Connor Halley, and Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire, we're on this road together.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, Try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
If you're passionate about golf, you probably already know, and you've been waiting. The Quarry is now open, and all 27 holes are in great shape. Book now, get geared up at the Pro Shop, and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget about the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
Hey there, Alberta. Right now, tariffs threaten the livelihood of hardworking Alberta farmers, ranchers, processors, entrepreneurs, and their families. It's time to let them know we have their back. Now more than ever, we need to show our support by eating, drinking, and buying local whenever we can. Because when the going gets tough, Albertans stick together and stand strong. Learn more at alberta.ca/buy local. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Not to get too personal, but when it comes to financial services and insurance, Cooperators does just that. Like the "I'm definitely retiring early" plan, or the "Hun, that old tree looks pretty unstable" plan. Your future is personal. Your plans should be too. Cooperators, investing into your future together. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for one-stop financial services? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.427, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I know it's a little difficult, Oiler fans. Tough time right now, and we'll see. Great thing about playoffs, anything can happen. Stars fans thought they were done last year, managed somehow to win 4 or 5. And beat Vegas in 7. It's actually happened 3 consecutive years where a team down 2-0 has come back to win, and that's what the Oilers got to hope. But there's 4 other teams in the same boat: Ottawa, St. Louis, New Jersey, and Montreal. Although 3 of those teams were 3 of them wild card teams. Jersey technically wasn't a wild card, although I thought Carolina was the most obvious pick 'em in the first round, and that's come to fruition. Before we get to Nick Kipros, let's get to our qualifier today for Here Comes the Sun, a chance to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. Darcy, congratulations, you're in. How you doing?
I'm great, Jason. How are you?
I am awesome, man. Are you going to keep it or are you going to gift it if you win?
have to be honest. I think I would keep it. I could really use it.
Nothing wrong with that.
My son-in-law and wife, they put it on their home. They absolutely love it. They save tons of money. So I'd be pretty excited to win that for sure.
Well, yeah, that's a great part about it. It's not that you win the $15K; it's win all the money that it saves you on your future bills as well. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, courtesy of Action Electrical. So stay on the line. There's one final step to get to with the email. It's pretty simple, and then you'll be in, man. Good luck. We'll do the draw on May 23rd.
Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you.
There you go. Our next chance to qualify tomorrow at 4:00. Let's go around the NHL now. Brought to you by McDonald's. And if you've yet to try it, what are you waiting for? The Big Arch, baby. 100% all beef Canadian patties. Their special sauce. Connor Halley claims it the best McDonald's burger they've ever had. The Big Arch. Try it. Today, former NHLer, Stanley Cup winner Nick Kyprios joins us. Of course, longtime media member as well. And Nick, it is the playoffs. You've been involved in it. It's a roller coaster of emotion. When things are good, they're unbelievable. And when they're bad, they're probably the worst possible. The Edmonton Oilers down 2-0 and full marks for being down 2-0. It's not like they got robbed in any of those games. They just haven't played very well in lots of facets of their game. Their power play is brutal. Their penalty kill is terrible. Their coaches, they said, goes, I'm not even sure LA's beating us. We just keep gifting them goals. It seems like an easy thing, but how do they get rid of that? Because they just continually give LA unbelievable looks.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question right now, and I just think you just start from your own end and you work your way on out. At times, people want to believe that that's not what the Oilers are about. They're about Connor McDavid. They're about Leon Draisaitl, and it starts with the offense, but it doesn't. I think anybody can attest to over the course of history this time of year that you win championships from the net on out. I know at times people don't believe that when you think of Messier, Curry, and Gretzky, but that's where the Oilers have to start, is to recommit themselves on being on the right side of the puck. At times that didn't happen for Darnell Nurse and company back there, and that's where the focus should be. We know they can put the puck in the net. What we don't know in the first two games is if they can keep it out.
Well, no, it's not working. That's for sure. They can't keep it out, so they'll try to regroup again tomorrow. Now let's go out east. The Toronto Maple Leafs against the Ottawa Senators, and we all know the story of the Maple Leafs. You know what? Playoffs have not been a fun place for them for the most part. Their best players haven't been their best players a lot, but Craig Berube, Nick, when you watched how the Leafs played before to how they play now, how much credit do you give him?
Yeah, I think a lot, just in terms of at least giving them a chance to have a look that could be successful this time of year. And at times that hasn't been the case for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Even having scrums weren't a look of theirs in the past. And yet now you've got certain guys in the lineup that aren't afraid to get their noses dirty. Stolars, for goodness sakes, had the look against Ridley Gregg, in the first couple of games against the Ottawa Senators. So it is a different look. It's a different feel, but it's a Craig Berube feel. And much like we just talked about the Oilers, it's really started from the net on out with Stolars and Joseph Wall, and now we know it's Stolar's net. And he's been terrific in the first two games, out goaltending a guy that's making $8.25 million a year in Allmark. But they've got firepower too that we haven't seen in especially 5-on-5 situations with Matthews and Marner, and that's going to have to surface now that they don't get the last line change. But it's been a fairly Ottawa's made it easy for the Leafs in game one and game two when it's come to giving them an early lead and letting the Leafs protect that lead. But we'll see what happens tonight. In less than an hour, puck drop. Ottawa's going to have to be a lot more aggressive, and I think it's paramount that they score the first goal in the hockey game.
When you look at this Toronto team, Nick, and like they're a better team than Ottawa. Like, this is a series they should win. I don't think there's much debate about that. I think they are the better team. I picked them to win. Lots of people picked them to win. But, just because you're the better team doesn't mean you're always going to win. So do you see, are there big guns? Because I've talked for years about their big guns and the fact that they aren't as productive in the playoffs as they've been in the regular season, and you're not going to win that way. Have you noticed a difference in them, or is it too early to tell?
I think it's still early to tell. And one of the things, again, when I spoke of an early lead in both games, 2-0, fairly early on 8 collective shots in the first 2 games, they scored 4 goals. And now you have Matthews and Marner taking a lot of defensive zone draws. So the push isn't to put them in positions to put the puck in the net, it's to protect. But they're going to have to open it up a little bit here. And, that's where they've been challenged. They've also been challenged on the depth department. But Max Domi came up with a big goal the other night, and if they can find ways to chip away on their third or fourth line, that will also be a look that we haven't seen this time of year from the Toronto Maple Leafs. So to your point, they are just deeper. They're more experienced than the Ottawa Senators, and that's what they're going to have to lean on in Game 3 tonight to get themselves in a position where they can really take a stranglehold of this series.
Nick Kipros joins us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Nick, it's only one game, but what do you make of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vasilevsky? Somehow they gave up 6 goals and only 17 shots. It was such a weird, Florida's 6-2. You're thinking, they must have peppered them. And you're like, 17 shots, right? And you watch the game, and I'm like, man, it was an oddity, right? Their 4 goal scorers scored 6 goals on 10 shots. It's crazy, but, it's one game. But, is Florida, were they sleeping in the weeds? Is this just a terrible game for Tampa? What do you make of that?
Yeah, Vasilevsky just has to be better. And you're right. I mean, what can go wrong did go wrong in that game. But we knew Florida has a good team. They kind of faded towards the latter part of the season, and it was just to the point of getting themselves healthy again. Kulikov makes a big difference. In one more game, they're going to get Ekblad back, and Kachuk looks like he hasn't missed a beat. So, it's a tough task right now for Tampa Bay. We know they've got the firepower, but from what I've seen in the last 15, 20 games, there's just a looser component to Tampa Bay's game than Florida's. And they're, once again, going to do what we spoke of earlier, and that's tighten things up. It has to start in your own zone, and it has to start with your goalie. Vasilevsky's had a good year. A lot of people talked about avoiding the Toronto Maple Leafs, who beat them 4-0 during the regular season, and had Vasilevsky's number. But right now it appears that the Panthers have his number as well. This guy's going to have to find a way to be that goalie that help win championships for them. And this time of year, he has not looked particularly good the last little while. And I don't know if you have to go back to his back surgery of perhaps a turning point in the latter part of his career here, but he's going to have to rise to the occasion tonight.
What about some of the other series in the East, Montreal and Washington? Patrick Laine, gets sat down in the third period. Not a surprise to me based on how he's played. How do you think Marty St. Louis deploys him in Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not the player that he once was in Winnipeg when you're talking about some of the best young players in our game. And, I think he's emotionally been through a lot the last little while. I'm not sure if we're ever going to see a Patrick Laine again like we did in those early years against or with the Winnipeg Jets. But saying that, I mean, he can still shoot a puck. He can still sit at the top of the circles and wire one, and they're going to have to find ways to get him shooting again and put him in a position. I don't see the Montreal Canadiens in a position to really push Washington until they find different elements of their offense. I mean, you can't keep going back time and time again to Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. He is a big, strong guy, Patrick Laine, and he's got to have some pushback as well. But they're in big. They're in big against Washington, and Montembeault was the only reason why the game was close. But they're going to have to get some contributions offensively from guys like Patrick Laine and Gallagher and Anderson. Those guys are going to have to chip in big time here if they're going to make this thing remotely close.
Nick, you played in New York for a while, and it always seems the Rangers like, well, we're in New York, we have to get an experienced coach. Do you believe that's the truth? Or do they just need a good coach, regardless of, does the guy have to have a boatload of NHL experience? Where did he come out?
No. And, Carberry in Washington's a perfect example of a guy that's got a little bit of experience, behind the bench as an associate. And, good on Washington. They did their homework. They understood. They went through an extensive interview period. You get to learn a lot on a second or third interview. And you just do your homework, do your due diligence. You don't have to go safe. You don't have to go and recycle a Laviolette by, you don't. But just know the hard workers, know the guys that have done their work, the guys that have earned respect. I mean, just know your guys that you can lean on and make smart, wise decisions. But just believe in somebody, but make sure that the credibility is behind them. That's all you need to do to find your next great NHL coach. Is just do the due diligence like you would in anything else.
Yeah, it is. I'm always kind of fascinated by I do think at times the NHL is pretty slow to think, wow, you know what? Like there's nobody else that can coach our game. They can only be in the NHL. And it's funny. I've talked to a lot of players and some of them are like, man, some of my NHL coaches were like not even close to as good tactically and communicating as some of the coaches I had in junior and college. So, it's kind of, I get it in life. There's a name recognition, but sometimes it seems that maybe there's guys who are good enough who don't get the opportunity.
For sure. But like I said, it just depends on how hard you work in terms of discovering people or giving them an opportunity or seeing them in a different light. It's just not, there's departments now, Jace. There's just not one guy making all the decisions here. You got to build an analytical team. You got to build a great a coaching staff, train. It's the complete package now. Players want departments. They need to know that people that are running certain areas of their life, whether it's specialty teams, even strength, nutrition, strength and conditioning, that they're dealing with capable people, that know their job, that have done their homework. You just can't pull out an old name because it's safe. Like those days should be over.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Lastly, as the Dallas Stars Colorado series, Dallas without their best defenseman Heiskanen, Robertson gets hurt in the last game of the season, gets rocked by McCarron. They lose game one, and you're thinking, oh, geez. And now they've come back. They win two. They kill off a double minor in overtime, no less. And then they get the winner from Tyler Seguin. What do you make of the Stars, and any concern at all for Colorado?
Listen, this was the series that everybody wanted to see, and could easily be a conference final in the West, or in a perfect world, they were strong enough to be in a Stanley Cup final if they happen to be in different conferences, So I give Dallas full credit. Like, they absolutely limped into the playoffs when not only did you mention the key injuries, but losing 7 games in a row. I mean, no one saw that coming, but they're a proud group. And let's give Tyler Seguin a ton of credit coming off surgery and being off for a little while. Jamie Benn still got some gas in the tank. But we'll see where Wyatt Johnson is in games 3, 4, and 5. And, Sam Steele and Blackwell scored a big overtime goal.
Yep.
I mean, they still got some capable guys, and we still haven't seen the best of Rantanen as well, although he made a really strong play in the neutral zone last night for a game-winning goal. So I expect this thing to go the distance, and I think a lot of people do as well.
Nick, one last one for you. As a guy who's career unfortunately ended with an injury, and I don't know if you ever contemplated coming back or not, but when you see Landeskog 3 years trying to rehab, and then he finally comes back, you probably have a sense of, oh my God, like that's a pretty big commitment, man. Lots of other guys might have just said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, well, first of all, I did contemplate coming back, but no one else could contemplate it, and that was an issue for me.
Okay, fair enough.
But all kidding aside, it's just a wonderful story, and the unfortunate part, is it just doesn't. The story doesn't end with one game coming back. It's the next one, and the next one after that. He's dealing with a surgery that hockey players have seldom had before. So, it's going to be a constant test for him. But to even get to this point after 3 years is a remarkable story in itself. And, just a class act, and just a wonderful guy, a wonderful ambassador to the game. And I hope it continues for him. I hope the knee's strong enough for him to not only come back but maybe even be the player that he was before, because he deserves it. He stuck with it. He never stopped believing in himself, and got to be one of the best stories that we've heard in a long, long time.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing to see, and it's good to see a guy. I love this thought about, man, the only time I almost lost it was when I looked at my kids, because he was kind of joking, that I don't know if my kids believed I played hockey, because they were 1 and 2 when he got injured, and now they're 5, and they're there to see Dad play. So that'd be a big moment for sure.
Beautiful story.
It is. Nick, enjoy the Battle of Ontario tonight. We'll see how it is in Ottawa. Thanks for your time.
Jason, always a pleasure, pal. Thanks for doing it.
You betcha. Have a good one. That's Nick Kiprios, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada, with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Spring, where everything is coming up roses, except for GS Construction. We're heading underground, and we couldn't be happier. Spring is always a busy time of year for everyone trying to get out there and do some work. Well, GS Construction agrees, and we also agree that we just might need some help. So if you're looking to work and join a group where safety, teamwork, and continuous improvement have been at our core since 1974, send us a resume. Come work with us this spring. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4.49, Gregor, with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more is what they do. Up to $1,150 off of sectionals, 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and up to $1,000 off big screen TVs through to the end of April at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1. What, if any, changes would you be making for the Oilers heading into game number 3 on Friday?
Can I change their mental focus? Stop being Santa Claus. That's them, because honestly, I don't care who the goalie is. I think they're going to go to Pickard, and that's fine. But if anybody thinks that if you just put Calvin Pickard in goal and the Oilers play the exact same way in front of him, it's going to change anything, you're dreaming. So the major changes, wake the bleep up. Stop gifting them goals. Gifting them chances, 100%. That'd be my major change.
I agree. I got one small thing, though. I mean, I had a high ankle sprain, and I don't know if Frederick is actually hurt. He looked a bit sluggish, but I mean, you know, I do appreciate the way that guy plays, and he's always going to be in my playoff lineup. But if he is hurt, that's a hard one to go out and be hitting and be physical. Then I guess I would. That's an inside thing, but I would go with Skinner maybe. He finished pretty strong, and just out of lack of options in that spot, maybe that. But that's only if Frederick would be hurt. I think it's by committee. They all just need to wake up.
Question number 2. So if you're making a prediction for the series as it stands now, how do you think this one ends?
As it stands now, of course, being objective, I would say 4-2 Kings, but I'm going with it. The Oilers pay well now, and I took them at the beginning of the year. I know it sounds crazy, but it's still only 2 games to nothing. The circumstances seem awful, but it could have been 3 games to 2, and these guys can take over at any point. So 4-2 Kings objectively, but I'm still, obviously, I've bet with the Oilers, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
7.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess my original pick is still mathematically plausible. So I guess until it isn't, I would stick with it. But man, you got to have a lot of things change here for this team. And it just starts with like execution and managing the puck. And like the Arvidsson play, just, I don't know why it happens. Like it shouldn't even, like we shouldn't even ever have to discuss an NHL player with time in his defensive zone just missing the puck in the playoffs. Like what the hell's happening? So, Darnell Nurse literally stopping and watching on the second goal. Like A, got above the puck, which you don't want, but then B, he literally stopped and did not move. It was like the controller is like his video game froze. You're just like,
yeah.
I just did it on the screen. He froze, and then he's like, "Oh, geez, I got to get going." So, I don't know, man. I should stick with it, but I'm sorry. I don't see Edmonton coming back at this point. Unfortunately, it would be a massive change of everything for them to come back and win this series, based on what we've seen through the first 2 games.
Not saying it's wrong, but it has been quite negative in oil country today. So, if you had to give Oilers fans reasons for optimism before puck drop tomorrow, what would you tell them?
Well, the home crowd is very energetic, even more energetic in the playoffs. So that's going to give Edmonton some life, no question about it. And John Klingberg looked really good. So I think there's a guy that you can probably play more minutes now. So there's a positive.
Positive is that, we're home boys. Let's get this going. Let's get the fans behind us. Let's start strong. But again, not as much of a positive, but just calm everybody down. Lots of teams have been down 2-0. Lots of teams have been down and come back and won a series, sometimes a cup. Washington, just a few years ago. Like, this happens. So I guess I just dwell on that. rather than anything too negative.
Question 4. NFL draft gets going just after 6 o'clock tonight. Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders might be the most polarizing player in this draft. Where do you think he will be selected?
Polarizing to me used to mean worse than it does now. However you want to dice that up. I don't know. He had great stats inside of the top 10, I think, in Heisman voting. I don't see him slipping out of the first round, but hey, what do I know? I don't. I do get it, and I hear the words entitled, and that's an awful thing to say about a prospect. I hear a lot of people use those words, but entitled still doesn't mean not talented. And, if anything, he's got the genetics, and, I think you take a chance, he's a great player.
It's a really good question, Cons. Because you look, obviously we know he's not going number 1, so we can rule that out, right? Then you look at, okay, who are the other teams that are looking for a quarterback that might go quarterback, and is there any other quarterback that you would take ahead? This isn't a great quarterback draft, so I think he's gonna fall later, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes guys outside the top 10, right? Look where Lamar Jackson went, didn't hurt him at all. So I'm gonna say he falls to, well, maybe they trade up if they get nervous, but I'm gonna say the Steelers. 21. That's my guess.
All right. Final question for you guys today. Kelly Clarkson celebrates.
What about you? Where do you think he's going?
You know what? I think he's going to slip, and that's kind of the spot I penciled him into today. I think it's got to be a spot where he can sit and watch for a little while. Like TR said it, guy's got ability. His numbers in college in 2 different programs were outstanding. He put up great numbers, but there just seems to be that attention that kind of follows him, and we know that NFL teams don't necessarily love that. Could Tim Tebow have been a backup quarterback for 10, 15 years? I think so. But every time he went to a team, the fan base clamored for him to start. And it just was bad attention. So I think he's going to slip a little bit, but I can't see him getting past the Steelers. I think that'd be a good spot for him. Now, question 5. Kelly Clarkson turns 43 today. Got her start on American Idol back in the day. So when you think of the celebrities that got their starts on reality TV, who would you say is your favorite?
Go ahead, TR.
Yeah, this is slim pickings for me. To be my favorite, probably my least annoying. And this is by a landslide would be Alanis. I'm counting you can't do that on television. She's Canadian. She's got a great music catalog. Seems down to earth. Had a rockin' show last summer in Newfoundland. Unless I'm missing somebody, there's nobody on the list that I really even care about. Harry Styles, maybe? Okay, maybe there. Not bad, but again, not a groundbreaker for me.
Yeah. I you know me, Cons. I don't really watch much Survivor, really any reality show. But now I could be wrong on this. But was Meghan Markle not on one?
She was.
Right? I don't even know what she was on, but I think she might I don't even know if it was was she on that Howie Mandel Deal or No Deal thing? Which really that doesn't all she would have stood there, so that's kind of funny. But I'm gonna say the most talented one I think I've seen is Adam Lambert. That guy can sing. So I guess I would go with him if I had to pick one, but I don't. There's none Cons, you sent me that list and I was scrolling through it. I'm like, who? Who? Now, obviously it shows what I'm interested in, but I don't a lot of the stuff like Laverne Cox. I was like, what? I don't even know who that is. So Heather Morris, what? Leo Tipton. I never heard of any of these people. So, yeah. I guess I'm out of the loop, man. I'm totally, I guess I'm the old guy who's not into reality TV because I didn't know hardly any of these people on. And Connor even sent me a list, and I still didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm even sure. I don't even know who would be even my favorite. Who even didn't get famous. Richard Hatch made me fun. I thought because that's really that was the one reality show I watched was the first Survivor, right? And I remember the old guy Rudy, or is it Rudy?
Yeah,
he was funny. Richard Hatch was a great villain on the show. He ended up winning, but he played it really smart. Now it turns out that he was kind of a douche, I guess, off of in real life. So that obviously wasn't great. But I honestly, I don't watch enough to say, oh wow, I really hope how they're doing well. All I know is I bought myself a Susan Boyle CD once, and that's the regret I'll have to live with my entire life from any
Does
sort of
Ken Burns count? The guy who won Jeopardy? Or no? There was another guy. You know what, guys? There's Ken Burns from Jeopardy. And if you really want, it could be my favorite moment. I can't believe this guy didn't get famous, or maybe he did. Can you remember the first guy? Because you just remember Richard Hatch. That's the only time I ever watched reality TV. I mean it. I don't watch a lick of it. I know they are. I get like Rolling Stone magazine. I get that people came out of there, but I never watched anything unless it was to watch like Rex Gowdy or Jason Greeley from Newfoundland go for Canadian Idol. Never. But as I mentioned Alanis, but that guy, the first Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he said, "I'll use my."
Oh yeah, the clip when he called his dad. It's like, "Dad, I'm not calling to answer. I'm just calling to tell you I won $1 million." Yeah, that was
the
great.
best.
Yeah, that was
fantastic moment. There, he's my favorite.
Yeah,
whatever the hell that is.
Your father would be like, "Hey, son, thanks for the call. Nice. How are you going to manage that money?"
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is pretty funny though. But you know what? The great part of that was it was so confident. I don't know. I don't need the answer. I know it. I'm just calling to tell you I'm going to win $1 million.
It was great. No one saw it coming. We all thought that he really needed the help.
Yeah.
Okay, he made it all. He was the first one to make it that way. Remember?
Yeah. Well, again, not a show I watched, but I've seen the clip. So
it remains, to be honest, though, I want to clear it up. That was my favorite moment, but Alanis would be my favorite on that list by landslide. She's an icon. What do you think, comment?
From the list provided, because I didn't know too many either. Harry Styles has got to be up there, but Mike White being on Survivor, the creator of White Lotus, and Ned Schneebly from School of Rock.
But was him being on Survivor, did that like give him an opportunity to get in to become a producer?
See, I didn't know much about him, and this was in 2018, and White Lotus didn't come out for a few years after, so maybe it put a spotlight on him.
Like, is there any connection? Like, does 1 + 1 = 2 in his situation, or was he still gonna be like? Did he meet someone on when he was doing the show that led to it? I'm just curious. Like, if you star in the show and then you don't do anything from it, and then you end up having a successful career later on, does it have anything to do with the fact you're on a reality show?
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, Kristen Wiig then. She was on the Joe Schmo show.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty funny.
She's good on SNL.
She's very funny.
I saw that, and she would get considered honorable mention for me, but I really did not know that she was on that. So it's hard for me to say that she's my favorite to come out of it when I had no idea she was on the Joe Schmo show.
There you go. TR, have yourself a wonderful weekend. When we come back next Tuesday with you, the Oilers will have played 2 games. Do they take advantage of home ice, or is it 3-1, or are they swept?
Oh, we're still playing, baby. I mean, I don't want to wish my money away, so of course, let's go Oil.
All right. Thanks, TR. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Con-Man. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Edmonton. See you guys again soon.
That's Terry Ryan every Tuesday and Thursday. Let's get to the Con-Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now at GMC. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
One game underway already in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Panthers lead the Lightning 1-0 midway through the first period. They also lead that series 1-0. Coming up shortly, got the Sens and Maple Leafs meeting in Ottawa. Toronto up 2-0 in that one. Wild and Golden Knights at 7 o'clock. That series tied at a game apiece. And then at 7:30, the Jets looking to take a 3-0 series lead over the St. Louis Blues. In the association, getting going right away here. Pistons host the Knicks in Detroit. That gets going shortly. That series started at a game apiece. You've also got the Thunder and the Grizz at 7:30. Then at 8 o'clock, Clippers hosting the Nuggets. Major League Baseball today. Right now, Royals lead the Rockies 5-0 in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Earlier on, they won 7-4. You've also got the Orioles and Nationals scoreless in the second. Later tonight, Angels host the Pirates, Rays in Arizona, and the Athletics up against the Rangers. Today, you had the Mariners getting past the Red Sox 4-3. Twins at home fall to the White Sox 3-0. And it was the Brewers losing to the Giants 6-5. From the WHL, the Edmonton Oil Kings announcing today that they have not renewed the contract of Luke Pierce as the team's head coach. He's been with the organization for 7 seasons, becoming the head coach after the 2022 campaign with a record of 74, 118, 9, and 3 during his tenure as head coach. And tonight, you got the NFL draft getting going at 6 o'clock from Green Bay. Cam Ward from the Miami Hurricanes, quarterback, favorite to go number 1 overall. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Kevin Woodley of In Goal Magazine, and we'll talk some Vegas Golden Knights with Danny Webster. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Zesty Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 5-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, April 29th to May 3rd, 8 a.m. Live
the day of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The day.
Priority bids, on-site viewing, and timed auction on now. Demand for equipment is strong.
Instagram, the day in between, the day of mourning. For
more at rbauction.com.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta.
Connor Halley, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440, Oilers.
All in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's
with
safe,
you
secure,
on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Let's get to
from anywhere in the province.
Let's get to 5
Download
questions.
Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Hey everyone, it's Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. In recent years, we have seen a huge shift towards first-time buyers in our showroom. This has left us with a major shortage of trade-ins and used product on our lot. We are currently in need of quality used RVs. If you would like to sell or consign your RV, please call or text us at 780-438-2008 or visit us at carefreerv.ca.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. The taste I'm Sawyer, mean pride. But when life is not for him, don't put him down and say it again. If he's ever quite in defense, writing out the day's events.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Garage Superstar by Premier Built Garages, your one-stop shop for everything garage, from accessories and storage solutions to cabinets, vehicle hoists, storage racks, and Traeger grills. We've got everything you need to maximize your space. Visit our 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
After 5 o'clock on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Thursday afternoon. Tomorrow, it's going to be loud. It'll be fun, probably both in and outside the arena, as the Oilers' first home playoff game of the year. And they're going to need the fans to give them a boost, because they need a boost because they have not played great through 2 games. Lots of areas that need to improve. It's not just goaltending. That's one that, sure, you want some more saves, totally valid. But to think that it's only goaltending is grossly excusing some of the putrid play of the skaters in front of the goalie. Defensively, 5-on-5, awful giveaways all over the ice, awful breakdowns, bad reads, penalty kill, brutal, power play, anemic. There's lots of taking too many penalties. Most penalized team through the first 2 games of the playoffs. It's not good. Not good at all. As let's get to our playoff push now, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now. GMC gets 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more at gmccanada.ca. As Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us once again. Kev, how you doing?
I am doing better than Oilers fans, I'm guessing, because the sun is shining here and it was golf weather today. So, this is the benefit of your team not being in the playoffs. You get to enjoy some of the weather.
No, yeah, well, the way the Oilers are playing, they might be there soon. They're gonna have to pick up a lot of things. I know you've talked about this many times, because I see people they're looking the money puck and they're like, oh, Skinner's terrible. He's got the lowest goals saved above expected. And I'm like, okay, that's one stat. But how many goalies are facing the quality chances he's seen? Like when I look at the chances that Edmonton gave LA, and the coach, I agree wholeheartedly, were gifting them opportunities. Like Byfield able to just skate right in all alone, untouched. Kempe twice all alone, untouched. A penalty kill where you leave your stick from the slot area, and so it allows the seam pass right across. Yeah, they're not smart plays. But where do you come out on, because some places have a high danger chance different than other places and stuff like that. Like, do you literally have to go game by game on these systems because some of them are more on average?
Yeah, it's kind of this is the thing. Like, the advanced numbers are really tough in small samples, right? Like, at the end of the day, that's why we want a larger sample size before we make big decisions. But let me just give you a little bit of a small sample. Obviously, Andrei Vasilevsky had a tough night the other night. He's actually minus 4.25 goals in just 1 game. Skinner's at minus 3.84. It's not good. It's not good enough, obviously. Linus Hallmark's at minus 3.92. They're down 2-0 in the series. Do you know who's next on the list at minus 2.5 goals relative to expected? Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
So listen, you can make tough saves. You can stop high danger chances. As a matter of fact, 3 of the goals last night by Clearsight Analytics go down as mid-danger chances. Now, that's because they're straight line attacks. You and I see the goals. we see Adrian Kempe with time and space head up picking spots. And even though historically those are mid-danger chances, not everybody historically goes bar and in. So we can see that and think those are great scoring chances. That one on Calvin after he came into the game, like that's a nasty tuck. So it's tough in these small sample size. The numbers aren't perfect. They don't account for who's shooting, how good they are, whether they hit their spot or not, but they're the best context we have. And so two things are true at the end of the day. Stuart Skinner needs to make some more saves, no question. And the Oilers have been nowhere near good enough defensively or overall. They are losing because they have been the second best team in the first two games. They are bleeding high danger chances, 20 already. There were 14 in the first game, 6 went in. A little better last night, especially at even strength, but not in the PK. And they're not generating. They're through 2 games and they've got 4.5 goals of expected offense for a team that is supposed to be led offensively. Like, they just haven't been good enough. And the goaltending, fair enough, can be part of that conversation. But this is not a team that was built to win with goal. Like, they're spending, 3.5 on their 2 goalies this year? Stuart Skinner's a third-year pro making 2.6? Like,
no.
This is not Vasilevsky. This is not stop bullets in your teeth, bail us out. Can he? Can he do more? Yes. But this isn't how they were built. This isn't how they got to the Stanley Cup final last year. They gave up more chances and more expected goals, more high-danger chances in Game 1 against the LA Kings than they did in any single game the entire playoffs last year. So goaltending needs to be better. The team needs to be better. They need to start playing to the identity that made them Stanley Cup finalists last year, and we haven't seen that through 2 games. A little better at 5-on-5 last night. Didn't generate much, though. They just converted their only 2 high-danger chances at 5-on-5. And honestly, if special teams don't change, it won't matter.
No. Oh, God. Yeah. I want, like, the Kopitar one, Wallman has a stick in the passing lane. He leaves it to cross-check a guy in front of the net. It just leaves a wide-open look. The first...
Now, listen, how he plays that, too. Because
Yeah.
remember the criticism of Stu last year was that he wasn't aggressive enough,
Yeah.
right? And so there have been times in this, and we talked about, I think we talked Monday about the Byfield goal, where that puck goes across the ice, or maybe we haven't talked since then. So it's a shot from Doughty, top of the circle. Stu comes out and challenges to the top of his crease. He's not quite heels out, but he's at least halfway above the edge of his crease, half his skates above the edge of his crease. He makes that save. Now, it's a hell of a play by Byfield. It's a high danger chance because it crosses the middle of the ice, and he catches it, drops it to his stick, and shoots it fast enough that it's almost like a slot line pass. But anyways, it's a cross ice rebound. It's a high danger chance. The fact he's at the edge of his crease rather than, say, toes inside the crease, that extra, that's a foot. You know, like that foot might be the difference between sealing that short side if he's not quite as aggressive. He's just a little more passive. He makes it an easier rotation, an easier push. It's one of the toughest ones to do. You're facing a guy at the top of the circle. You are squared up on him, and you have to get all that rotation back to your far side post. It's a big move. Are there things he could do to maybe make the move shorter? Yes, and we can get into the power play goal to start last night, because I think that's another example where grade A chance, cross ice, you need better defense, but there are things you can do as a goaltender to give yourself a better chance on.
On the second one or the first Brant Clark one?
The first Brant Clark one.
Okay,
So if you look at that comes into a dead angle, Stu squares up on him in what we would call an overlap, right? And so rather than tucking inside his post in a reverse, he squares up on him. Now his right skate is outside his post, makes a seam pass through the middle. Again, if that skate is inside the post, setting up for a reverse, you're a 1.5 foot more inside your net. You just give yourself better access to that puck across the middle off Brant Clark's stick. It's an easier push because you don't have to rotate into it. You're loaded on your post and you use it as an anchor to push, and you're that much closer. You have a shorter distance to go, more of your net, more coverage inside the net rather than outside. Now the risk, and I know a lot of goalies in the NHL that talk to us when we do pro reads about risk management. The risk is he's coming, I can't remember who passed that to Clark.
Fogle.
Fogel's coming downhill on his forehand, head up. So the risk if you go skate inside post and maybe drop into a reverse VH is if that guy does like Thomas Hertl did to Philip Gustafson the other night and tucks that past your ear short side high because you're in a post integration on a rush chance, not necessarily dead angle, but getting into dead angle, you go into a reverse too early and the guy rips one short side high over your shoulder, that's a bad goal. And so I know goalies that'll be like, I can't give that one up. That's the one I can't give up. That deflates the bench and everyone's mad at me and I might get the hook. So I'm going to square up on him. And if the backdoor pass gets through, well, that's not necessarily my fault. And I've had this conversation. I don't know that Stuart Skinner's thinking that way, but that's definitely part of the conversations that goalies have, either as part of the plan or internally. Like that can be something you discuss with your goalie coach, like, hey, we can't give this one up, so let's square up on that and trust somebody else to take care of the other one. Or sometimes it's an internal dialogue. I just can't give that one up. But you compare it to the save that Kemper makes on Hyman a few minutes later on a cross ice pass down low, and two things are different. One, Kemper's loaded inside his post. He gets a better push. He gets across, gets more of it across. The other difference is Clark gets it up over the pad.
Exactly.
And Zach Hyman doesn't execute and get it above the pad. Most goalies are getting a pad there. Every shooter knows you got to get it 12 inches off the ice. Hyman doesn't. Clark does. That's the other flip side of this, as much as you can look at the way the goalies played it. And I do like the way Kemper played that one. I don't know if the shooting threat, although it was McDavid, was as dangerous. But he's a big boy. They're both big boys. I think they can probably play inside their posts. He gets across, and because Hyman doesn't elevate, it's an easier save.
Kevin Woodley joins us. So, Kevin, looking ahead, a lot of people think that Calvin Pickard's going to get this goal, and I think there's lots of arguments to say why he should get the starting goal. Now, he has very different styles than Stuart Skinner. You look at the Kings' power play. You look at a lot of things in how they're playing. Now, if the Oilers continue to give up Kempe, Byfield, cross-seam looks, I don't think it's going to matter who's in goal. That's what I think. Connor Halley got lit up last year because the team gave up too many quality chances. But what do you think is there anything Pickard does that will give him better chance against how LA's been attacking through 2 games?
That's actually a really good question. Hey, by the way, just Connor Hellebuyck, because we make these comparisons, right? His expected save percentage so far in the playoffs, Stu's was 872s, his is 911. So it's funny because I've had a bunch of people sort of point out, like, hey, Hellebuyck had a bounce back. I'm like, yeah, and his team only gave up 400 chances the whole game, right?
Yeah.
So style-wise, little more flow, little more. I'm not going to say the word fluid for Calvin, but maybe is there a little bit more lateral movement there? It's funny. I'd almost like to put them side by side and compare it. It looks different. I don't know if it's quicker. So I don't have a stopwatch. I don't have a stopwatch, and I'm like side by side, who gets from one top of the crease to the back door quicker. Calvin will also play outside his lines, outside his edges of his crease. Not hyper aggressively, but he plays with a little more backwards flow off of it, a little more reliant on reads and timing. We've talked about that in the past. To me, the biggest difference, and we talked about this as well during the season, is how much better this team played for him. And again, I didn't pretend to have the answer why. Maybe it's opponents. Maybe there's a lot of different reasons. But his environment was much easier than Stu's. And maybe that's how popular he is as a teammate. Maybe these guys just feel like, hey, Stu's got to bail us out, but we need to be.
Yeah, he played worse teams, though, too, right?
And that's the other part, right? You just don't know. At the end of the day, it was a really, really favorable goaltending environment. As I said, the highest expected save percentage in the NHL. I don't know if they can do that against the Kings, but my point would be, they did it all year for him. And maybe you're right. Maybe it was just the opponents, but maybe there's something else there. And if there is anything, please, they can get this team closer to the identity they played with last year, because we've talked about this before. You've heard me talk over the years about the underlying numbers that lead to playoff success. And none of what they're doing in the playoffs so far matches those types of numbers. They need to get back to that and give their goaltenders a chance to help them out. And the goalies need to help them out more. Like, again, this is not me exclusively saying it's not on the goaltenders. I just think they're one part of a bigger problem for the Oilers right now. And it starts to me with not just poor defending, but risky plays at the wrong times that lead to easy goals the other way.
100%. Do you know what Kemper's expected save percentage is?
I do, and it would be 902 so far in the playoffs. So that is exactly 30 points higher than Stuart Skinner.
Yeah. And so for people out there, expected means if Skinner was playing up to his capability, all the shots he's facing, That's what he would be at. That's what Kemper would be.
It means that a league average goaltender, the NHL average, would have an 872 facing the shots that Stewart has faced, and a league average goaltender would have a 902 save percentage facing the shots that Darcy Kemper has faced so far. They are both underwater right now. The only difference is all the spotlight is on Stuart Skinner.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So a league average goalie would have a 872 playing in Edmonton and a 902 playing for LA. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So far through this series in the first 2 games. Yes.
Okay. Obviously super small sample size, but just illustrates that, how bad Edmonton's been. No question. Looking at some of the other ones, you mentioned the Vasilevsky game. How concerned would or should Tampa fans be?
The only thing that would concern me, I'm not worried about Andre Vasilevsky. Like, he had a great bounce back season. He changed some things in his game. You and I have talked about that. Talked about how his work with Adam Francilia, who Stewart also works with, and works with Connor Halley. Andre reaching out to him last summer and them starting to work together. I like all the changes he's made. He's got a really nice balance to his game right now. The only thing that is concerning, and this is environment. We talked about this with Hellebuck and what his expected save percentage was in the regular season, and how, as good as he's been, a lot of the raw numbers you see are a product of a really good defensive environment. Vasilevsky's was identical. And obviously, if Tampa Bay is going to defend as porously, and part of this is they fell behind and they opened up, like that happens. But if they're going to leave him facing an 883 expected after facing a 903 in the regular season, the numbers are going to drop. Not to the level they have in that first game, but they're going to come down. And that would be the one thing. It reminds me of Hellebuck last year. Everyone, even in Winnipeg, they were ready to jump all over him last year, especially when he came out and said he felt good about his game. And everyone's like, that's impossible. Like you were terrible. Your numbers are terrible. Winnipeg went from having like some of the major categories, they were top 3 in the league all season, to being 16 out of 16 in screens and lateral plays in the playoffs. And so if the environment disappears in front of Vasilevsky at the rate it did in the first game, then his ability to sort of be who he was in the regular season, that's a much bigger ask. And so Tampa's got to rediscover its game against a Florida team that makes it very hard for you to play your game.
Yeah. What about the Dallas series? Nobody really liked Ottinger's game 1, but he seems to have bounced back, even with all the injuries. Like the whole Dallas team, I give him credit, but man, that penalty kill in overtime was massive.
Yeah, and good for Jake, because there was a lot of focus on him. And I've talked about, again, there's a guy that for the last couple of years, the adjusted numbers haven't been as flattering, as the raw numbers. A lot of it was environment. After a tough first game for the team, I think they've gotten back to a much better defensive environment, and he's holding up his end of the bargain. Now, they went to overtime last night. Colorado only had 6 high danger chances in that game. 6. Still created almost 2.5 or over 2.5 goals of offense, and Jake only gave up 1, so good on him. He's playing really well, but again, that's a team that's found its game. When they went down the stretch and lost all those games in a row and into the playoffs, to me, that was, again, much like that, like if the goalie looks great when the defensive environment supports them. And if the bottom falls out of the defensive environment, that's when everybody else sees what the numbers are telling us. Like Jake Ottinger's numbers have been around league average for most of the season, but you can't tell if the team's top 3 in the league, if they go through a 2-week stretch where they're playing like a bottom 3 team defensively, all of a sudden everyone's going, oh my God, what's going on with the goaltending? Well, guess what? The goaltending was there the whole way. The environment just changed. Now he's outperforming at the last couple, but again, with good defensive support, they're back to like 5 or 6 high dangers a game instead of 10, 11, or 12, like Stu's seeing against the Kings.
Kev, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for the extra hit. Enjoy the games.
My pleasure. I'll talk to you again on Monday, Jason. Have a great weekend.
I bet you. That's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. Quick break. We'll come back. We got lots more playoff talk about it. And I think Woodley's been saying kind of the same thing I've been saying. Hey, could Skinner make a few more saves? Yes. But the environment's awful. They got to be way better in front of him. And so, hey, if Pickard comes in, maybe he can make an extra save too. But if you keep having the exact same issues in front of him, it's not going to change much. But the other thing is Darcy Kemper's numbers. Now that's one game. Oilers didn't really test him, I thought, in game 2. I didn't think he had to make many key saves. So Edmonton's going to want to test him because he wasn't very good in game 1. So see if we can get to him again. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Now until April 30th, The Brick is saving you more. Save up to 60% off Canadian-made sofas when you buy the matching love theater chair. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. And when you use your Flexity card, get equal monthly payments and 0% interest for 60 months on furniture and mattress purchases. Plus, you're automatically entered to win a $5,000 Brick shopping spree. And the more you buy, the more you save, up to an additional $1,200 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved equipment auction is Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, crawler dozers, excavators, mini excavators, graders, platform lifts, skid steers, snorkel lift, drum packers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Truck Month is on at Chevrolet. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Silverado 1500 Custom Blackout or Custom Trail Boss. With Custom Trail Boss's available class-exclusive Duramax 3-liter diesel engine and Z71 off-road package with a 2-inch factory suspension lift, you get both on-road confidence and off-road capability. Dirt road ahead. Let's go! Truck Month is awesome. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
Missioner Allen Auctions public unreserved equipment auctions is Friday at 9 a.m. A complete dispersal of Arbatki Oilfield Limited, including 2015 Cat 160M graders, 2014 624K loader, 2021 and 2014 link belt excavators. Info at maauctions.com.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. The pizza makers at Papa John's are making you 2 or more items for $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu, like medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You mind going through it? What's the name? Send me a long one. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The NHL playoffs continuing on. Tonight, you got lots of games to watch if you need to decompress. You have, of course, the Panthers and the Lightning, 1-0 Florida after 20 minutes. Maple Leafs and Senators midway through the first, no score. And the late game, which will start at 7 o'clock Edmonton time, has the Golden Knights in Minnesota to take on the Wild. That series is tied at 1. And let's talk a little Golden Knights and the Wild right now, of course, because whoever wins that series, if the Oilers actually do come back in their series, that's who they'll be playing. As Danny Webster joins us from the Las Vegas Review. And Danny, it's a series tied at 1, but there seemingly seems to be some concern more so about the fact that their top line has yet to get going.
Yeah, that's been the biggest difference so far right now with this series. Golden Knights have not gotten any scoring from their top line. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Wild's top line has done nothing but tear things up a little bit. Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, especially with Joel Eriksson Ek just hanging out and playing strong defense on the other side as well. So Right now, that would probably be the biggest difference right now as we go to Game 3 tonight. And, it should be very interesting to see now that the series shifts here to Minnesota, how the Golden Knights will respond there.
So you look at Game 2 and Minnesota, it's rare to go into the fortress and kind of dominate Vegas in the first period. It doesn't happen very often, but that kind of happened in Game 1. What have you seen from Minnesota that concerns you, and how do you think the matchups will change now that they're on home ice?
So I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, I look at Game 2, and I'm kind of in line with what everyone else in the Golden Knights locker room feels like, and it was very self-inflicted. When you look at the way that the turnovers led to those goals, the Golden Knights are usually very smart with their puck management. They're usually smart with how they handle things when they're holding on to the puck, and just 4 turnovers led to 4 goals there, and suddenly they're way behind the 8 ball. I think the biggest concern for me, if you're the Golden Knights looking at it from a broader point of view here, is you haven't been able to find an answer for Kaprizov or Boldy right now, and that's the biggest thing. Is right now Kaprizov's just 4 games out of coming back from that injury, and he looks like he hasn't missed a beat. Matt Boldy's been good all year for the Wild, so there really hasn't been any drop off from him. But the Golden Knights have pretty much done about everything they can do well defensively, but the only thing they haven't been able to do is slow down 97-12, and that's been the biggest thing for them right now. So I would say, other than that, I think they did some good things in the second and third period. I know they were trailing for most of it, but it seemed like they found some answers of how they can exploit Minnesota in going into Game 3 tonight. But we'll see how it fares out. But it's going to be very interesting to see, especially with the way that Minnesota can dictate the matchups now going into this game. It's going to be very interesting to see how they match up and what they try to do to slow those guys down.
Like the Kaprizov Boldy, it's a combination, and they're producing now. Eichel and Stone, and Eichel had an unreal year, right? One of his best seasons ever. Now, he missed some games. Is he banged up?
He did miss some time late in the season with a lower body or an upper body injury. But I would say for the most part, he seems fine. Watching back Game 2, didn't seem like there was anything that hindered him. Didn't seem like there was anything that was slowing him down. So far, I'd say for the most part, Minnesota has just developed a really good game plan to kind of keep their rush game to the outside, not allowing anything through the middle. And that's where Jack likes to operate, is getting the puck and going down the middle through the neutral zone. And usually that's how they set up shop. So there really hasn't been a lot of instances where he's had to kind of cycle things around and work through that way. So if he wants to get going, that's probably going to have to be the one thing they're going to need to do, is do a little bit of dump and chase and kind of work at it that way.
Is that their game, though?
It can be. They're not traditionally a rush team, so there are instances where they'll have to resort to a dump and chase, kind of like what their fourth line tends to do. A lot of dumping it in, using their physicality, and the Golden Knights aren't a physical team. And I'm not saying that they need to go out and lay a ton of hits on there. I think they have the 6th fewest hits in the league this year, so that part is probably not going to be their MO. But I do think that they're definitely strong enough of a team to win those battles, get it in the corner, kill some time, and at least establish a cycle game. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing here, is that they're going to try and establish some sustained ozone time. And they kind of did that a little bit in the second period, especially after the Noah Hannafin goal that got them on the board. They were able to start doing some things where they were able to cycle the puck and keep possession and establish some pressure. So they can definitely do that. But in terms of laying the physicality like Minnesota has done through 2 games in the series so far, I don't think they're going to be seeing any of that. But I think if they're able to get into the corners, win those battles, they can definitely be a team that can do that, because they're a big enough team to do that.
The Shea Theodore numbers on paper aren't great. Do they reflect how he's played, or has had bad luck? What's up with him and McNabb? Those guys, -5 and -4 through 2 games, not ideal.
Yeah, Game 2 was not their best. When you look at the whole thing with Shea Theodore, the 4 goals that Minnesota had in even strength all came off turnovers from him, and that was probably the biggest disappointment of that whole situation. And when you look at how Brady McNabb, in complementary to that play, definitely did not pan out well for him either. There were a couple of instances where it did not look good for either of them. And for those two, they're usually the Golden Knights' most consistent pairing. So that part was definitely alarming. But I think in the grand scheme of things, the way that Shea Theodore has played this season, he's had a career year, even though the wrist injury in the Four Nations was definitely hindered him. He's always been their best defenseman all year. And I think that if there's a time for him to kind of rebound and get back to his game, I think tonight would be the night for that.
Awesome, Daddy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jason.
I'm interested to watch that series. Now, hey, Jack Eichel, the way he played, like he was a guy who was in contention for the Hart. Never a front runner, but probably to be a top 5 guy. And it's only 2 games, but hey, just like the reason Toronto didn't win in previous years, when your best guys aren't your best guys, it's really hard to win. Now, they're 1-1, so all Eichel and Stone have one big game, and that erases it. But, that's something you'll watch for in that series. Because right now, Minnesota's best guys, Kaprizov and Boldy, are playing unreal. Unreal. $5:39. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
When you see big discounts on a vehicle, you think last year's model, right? Not at St. Albert Dodge. They are continuing to knock 10% off the sticker price of every single 2025 Ram 1500 truck on the lot. We're talking this year's model. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year with a hot new interior and drivetrain options with increased horsepower and better fuel economy. The 2025 Ram 1500, 10% off and over 100 to choose from. That's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Hey everyone, it's Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. In recent years, we have seen a huge shift towards first-time buyers in our showroom. This has left us with a major shortage of trade-ins and used product on our lot. We are currently in need of quality used RVs. If you would like to sell or consign your RV, please call or text us at 780-438-2008 or visit us at carefreerv.ca.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley for Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Joining us. Hope you're having a lovely day. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. Hey, guys, I've watched every minute of that Vegas series. Looks like the Sin City Maulers can't handle the speed of Mini. Yeah, what's interesting, no penalties in that series either. Or like the least penalized. Now, Vegas, funny enough, the least penalized team in the National Hockey League all year long. So, hey, guys, good rundown from Kevin on the technical stuff. Who do you think is responsible for connecting the fundamental with technical errors? Coach? Skinner, do you think Skinner's told to perform skill X with technique Y and is clearly continuously not working, or is he not executing? I firmly believe he has hip flexion or extension issues. That's a good question. From my conversations with goalie coaches, you got to remember, not every goalie is going to be physically capable to play the same way. Just like not every skater is going to be like, hey, let's skate like McDavid. Let's have edges. Let's turn, right? Like there's all different skill. It's not like the goalie can say, you know what? We want you to just be able to push across quicker because Vasilevsky can do it. So let's practice it and you can do it. It's not going to happen. There are physical limitations. Not every goalie is going to have the same flexibility. The other thing is there's in-game decisions. And we even talked to Calvin Pickard about it. When you're in game, as a goalie, you go on your experience. It's not like your goalie coach tells you before the game, okay, you know what? We want you not to ever use the reverse VH. Right now, some might shy away from it and not encourage it enough. Others do. There's different skill sets, but a lot of it's going to come down to the goalie. What is the goalie most comfortable with? The goalie coach isn't coming in and drastically changing, an NHL goalie and everything. You might make some tweaks, yes, but it's not like a massive overhaul change, right? Like I remember Devin Dubnyk talking about, for him, it was 2 changes he made to his play. But most of it was, and one of the big changes he said was mental in saying, okay, you know what? I have to change this. I fought it. I don't want to change it. And then he finally did. And obviously, it worked out. He had some pretty good years after that. But even in Edmonton, if you have to go back and look at his numbers, he didn't have that bad a year in Edmonton either. So there was some terrible teams, and his numbers were still pretty good. But like Stuart Skinner is never. I don't know if Stuart Skinner is going to be an elite goalie, because guess what? It's hard to be an elite goalie. I don't know if he'll ever be a top 15 goalie, to be honest. I don't think he is one. But people act like he should be. That's the part I don't understand. He's not paid like one. So then be mad at management because they didn't go get one. But again, who could they have went and got? Right? Like, honestly, who were, people will say Blackwood. I guess it's possible. But if you look at the timing of that trade, when that trade was made, the Oilers were on a heater and were the best team in the NHL. Playing quite well. Right? And Stuart Skinner last year, for the 50 games under Chris Knobloch, was top 10 in all the important goalie statistics. So is he suddenly terrible, or is Stuart Skinner a goalie where if you have a good environment, he can perform admirably? That's what I think he is. Right? He's not a goalie that's going to he's not going to save your bacon a ton. So if you have a team who needs their bacon saved all the time, it's probably not a good fit for you. But right now, the Oilers don't need their bacon saved. Like they need their bacon saved massive amounts. Right? Like you need the perfect goalie. It's not going to happen. As I've said, could Skinner play better? Yes, he can play better. But if you only say that and you don't say, well, the Oilers' defense can play better, their penalty kill can play better, their power play can play better, then you're missing the point. It's just that simple. If you're only saying it's Skinner, you're missing the point. And you're exposing yourself as lacking in understanding the game, because it's not just Skinner. He can play better, full stop. I don't know how many times I have to say it. But look at the giveaways they've had. My God. They're giving guys wide open looks. And you're like, well, this goalie, who I don't even think's very good, he should be making all the saves. Like, what? Make it make sense to me. I don't get it. Make it make sense. So it's too comical for me at this point. So the Oilers, they got to play way, way better. Way better. So when I look at the Oilers, like we get tech, hey guys, the grit and speed from Holloway, Fogle, McLeod has decimated the bottom 6. They're old and slow. How many goals does the bottom six have in 2 playoff games? They have 2. The bottom six hasn't been the Oilers' problem 5-on-5. The Oilers' problem 5-on-5 has been the gifts. Bouchard, Nurse, Arvidsson made a gift, also did score a goal. Right? Bad play. That's had some bad reads. Right? McDavid on the giveaway in the game-winning goal. Now, giveaway is maybe the wrong word, but his pass was knocked down to start the play. Edmonton had complete control of the puck in the offensive zone. Right? He had the puck in his stick. Then he put it off his stick. 2 seconds later, the Kings are up the ice in a 3-on-2. So, when I look at where the Oilers are right now, there's lots of areas they need to improve on. Goalie's one of them. But it's not the only one. And I'd argue it's probably not even the biggest one. Because you can look at, okay, where is he at? Well, their power play is at 0. Their penalty kills at 50%. And they've gifted way too many goals. Goaltender needs to be better as well. How many of those do they have to fix to win game 3? Because if their goalie's better, but look at what their expected save percentage was, 872. If their goalie's okay, it's 870. Do you think you're going to win with that? Probably not. So that tells you there's other issues. There's other issues. So where do they go? Obviously, hey, Ekholm's not playing, but so what? Look at Dallas. They don't have Heiskanen or Robertson. 2 pretty major issues. Major injuries, excuse me. They're up 2-1 against Colorado, who I would argue is a better team than LA. So you got to figure it out. Edmonton's not dead if they choose to play better. If they can't figure out the special teams, they're done. I just think it's that simple. If their power play never scores and their penalty kill could only stop half of the Kings' power, especially with the amount of penalties they're taking, they're done. Like it's just that simple. So start there. Hope that Pickard can be better for you. And but I think if your hope is that your backup goalie is going to save it, it's kind of like thinking, oh, we're going to bring in a rookie and he's going to save our whole team. And suddenly we're going to be better. I just think it's the problem. Hey guys, who's responsible for recognizing goaltender capabilities? Did we not have Stolarz in the system? He got acquired here in a deal. He played 6 games for the Oilers and then spent the next 2 seasons in the American League, not with the Oilers. He was here for a massively brief time, was part of the Cam Talbot trade. So I know people keep talking about Stolarz, but that was so long ago that I don't think you can say, hey, we thought Anthony Stolarz was going to be the guy at that point, right? Because he wasn't the guy in the NHL after that. Right? Over the next 2 NHL seasons, he played a total of 9 NHL games. Now you could argue that, hey, they should have kept him over their backup, over Koskinen. I probably could make that argument. But that was so many different regimes ago. That was still under the Chiarelli regime that it's like worrying about Stolarz from 2018-19 in 6 games. I don't know if that's really an accurate part of what's going on today for the Edmonton Oilers. So all I know is their goalie has to play better. Their team defense has to play better. Their power play has to play better. Their penalty kill has to play better. It's that simple. Until they do at least 2 of those, they're going to have a hard time winning. Now, the good news is it's a new game tomorrow. And what you did in the past doesn't mean it'll continue. You can control it. We'll see if the Oilers can tomorrow night. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire is here to take care of your vehicle and your wallet. You only got a few days left till Saturday. Save up to 25% off select tires and up to $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Good night.
This This is a Sports 1440 update.
4 games on the ice tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Midway through the second period, Panthers lead the Lightning 1-0. They also lead the series 1-0 after 20 minutes in our nation's capital. Sens and Leafs scoreless. Toronto up 2-0 in that series tonight at 7 o'clock. Wild hosting the Golden Knights. Game 3 series side of the game apiece. And at 7:30, the Blues trying to get back into their series with the Jets trailing 2-1 on the hard court. Knicks lead the Pistons 33-30 in the second quarter. That series side of the game each at 7:30. While the Thunder are looking to take a 3-0 series lead over the Grizz. And at 8 o'clock, Clippers host the Nuggets tied at a game apiece. Major League Baseball right now, we got the Royals leading the Rockies 5-2 in the second half of their doubleheader. In the first half, it was the Royals victorious 7-4. Nationals lead the Orioles 1-0 in the fifth. Later tonight, you got Angels, Pirates, Rays, Diamondbacks, and the Athletics taking on the Rangers. Earlier today, finals. Mariners over the Red Sox 4-3. Brewers falling to the Giants 6-5, and the White Sox flank the Twins 3-0 in 7. Cleveland Cavaliers' fourth-year forward Evan Mobley was named this year's NBA Defensive Player of the Year by winning the honor. Mobley ensures that his max rookie contract extension that he signed last summer will go up by roughly $45 million over the next 5 years, turning it into a 5-year, $269 million deal. And the Edmonton Oil Kings announcing that they have not renewed the contract of Luke Pierce as the team's head coach. He's been with the organization for 7 years. He was named head coach back in 2022 and has a record of 74, 118, 9, and 3. And the NFL draft gets going in about 10 minutes' time from Green Bay. Looks like the Tennessee Titans will be selecting Cam Ward, quarterback from the University of Miami, with the number 1 overall pick. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, draft coverage with Fox Sports Radio. Local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on with the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the number